Hey everybody, this is Josh Runquist here for the Heavy Debriefings podcast, along with...
The Metal Faerie.
And yeah, this is actually going to be quite a bit of a hard show to do. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be a killer show to do.
I see what you did there.
Yes, a little Freddy foreshadow going on. It's also going to be a bit of a longer show as well too, since we have a lot to cover, but...
So buckle up, Buttercup.
Yes. Both of us are emotionally drained right now from the days that we've had, so, you know, what better way to deal with staying up super late to watch Wrestledream?
Yes.
And deal with the days that we've had than to do the podcast and talk about the stuff that we hopefully enjoy.
Exactly. And first up, of course, we have the news, and of course, we are back at it again with a celebrity death.
We were good for 2 weeks.
We were good for 2 weeks, but we did unfortunately lose Dumbledore himself, Michael Gambit, this week.
Yeah, I only ever saw the first Harry Potter movie, but I know he left a lasting impression for a lot of people.
Absolutely, yeah.
And of course, he's done a bunch of other stuff as well, too,
for sure.
But people of a certain age just know him best as Dumbledore, and, you know, that's a pretty good role to be remembered for.
Yeah. I've seen all the Harry Potter movies, and I enjoy them, and he's just had such a presence about him, so he will definitely be greatly missed.
And for a long time, I had him confused. I thought Ian McKellen was Dumbledore. I was wrong.
They're easy to confuse those two, so... There's been a little bit of news around Live Nation this week.
Yes, they started the On the Road Again program. Yes, the Willie Nelson song inspired. And from what I learned, he's pretty much just given the licensing to the song to Live Nation for all of this. Basically, if you're performing at a 2,500 or lower capacity, basically clubs, they're going to be, not only are they going to be taking away merch cuts, which is what the venue does to be able to make money off the bands.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're also guaranteeing up to $1,500 per band for the shows. Now, you think this would be a great thing.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds really good. Until you learn the fact that it's only going until the end of the year.
Oh, all right.
It might extend in the next year. They want to see how it is first,
sure.
They're going to lose too much money. This is also a gigantic tax cut for Live Nation as well, because they're giving away money to every headliner and supporting act.
Yeah.
At least $1,500 each.
So they're going to benefit from it.
Yes. Some venues are not... going to be giving up that guarantee as well too, because say a band is going to be making $1,500 that night, they're just going to give them that guarantee of the money and they're going to be playing for free.
Oh wow!
Because it's dealer's choice when it comes to the venue. Here in Minnesota, only 3 venues that are supported by Live Nation are participating in this.
Yeah.
And there's other ones that are also supported by Live Nation that are not involved with this. So.
Okay.
It's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
And of course, another thing that I watched today, which brought up a really, really good point. If they continue this on with the merch cuts and the $1,500 guarantee, that's going to put independent venues out of business.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of the venues that we loved are already gone.
Yeah.
And any venues that we have left...
will be gone.
Yes. The only exception, I think, all of them that are owned by First Avenue around here, I think they have the staying power.
Yeah, I could see them sticking around.
But I also could see Live Nation being like, yeah, we want to buy these venues, so we're just going to take them from you.
Say goodbye to all your venues.
Yeah, so what do you think about this, knowing all this new information?
Yeah, I mean, it just sucks. It's already so hard for bands going out there, and then you do things that, like, appear good, but really it's always going to be to the benefit of the big company, and then you're just limiting things for the listeners as well, the people who want to go out and enjoy these bands, and it sucks all the way around.
It does. And the preliminary name I have for this particular episode is Live Nation Almost Does the Right Thing.
Almost.
But it is a bit of a long name, so something might come up later that sparks more interest, but that's the current name right now until something better comes along. But
I like it.
Yeah, but you know, just as someone who's been in bands, as someone
Yeah.
who's seen many bands, covered many bands,
Yeah.
it's so hard to make your money back going back on tour.
Oh yeah.
That's why merch is so important. And just all of the things that go into it, from gas to travel to food to
Yeah.
gear, anyone else that you pay to be on tour with you. It's just quit screwing people over.
Exactly. You want people out there, touring so you can listen and enjoy this music. Then let them actually earn a living off of it.
Yeah. And of course, the other thing that not enough people are talking about when it comes to all of this, say this continues on.
Yeah.
Live Nation isn't doing this from the goodness of their heart.
No, they're doing it to benefit themselves.
Right. And how are they going to make that money back if they're giving it all to the bands?
Right.
How?
Charging us.
Exactly. You love all those FU fees that you already get. Well, dandy. Yeah, I'm glad you love them because you're going to be getting so much more of them.
Yes.
Imagine paying triple the price, and 2/3 of it is just the taxes and fees.
Yeah.
I could totally see that happening.
I could too.
And we already don't go to shows. Like, it's been
Yeah.
over 4 years since we've been to a show. And that kind of leads into our next part here.
Yes.
Last night, we were heavily thinking about going to see Wolves in the Throne Room, Black Braid, Garia
Yes.
at the Amsterdam Bar and Hall in St. Paul, which is not too far away.
No.
In fact, we were talking about this months ago when the tour got announced. We were thinking, like, this could actually be our first show back.
Right.
Because it's a small enough venue where people aren't going to be, like, sardined together. They're bands where it's like people don't stand right next to each other. It's all black metal.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a smaller show anyways.
Yeah.
And then they also have a dining area as well, too. So if you don't even want to see the bands and if you just need to get away from the whole experience, they have a bar and grill right there. A lot of hipster food, but a lot of
Yes.
a lot of stuff to be able to get away from it all.
Exactly.
But, of course, we'll talk about what we did instead. But how do you
That's-
feel about missing your newfound infatuation with black metal and Black Braid?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's my new infatuation with black metal because there's black
No,
metal.
I said Black Braid.
You said black metal first.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, I really like Black Braid. They're easy on the eyes as well.
I think I meant to say new infatuation in black metal with Black Braid.
I get you. But no, I'm sad I missed them, but at the same time, I feel like they'll be touring again and probably doing a headline set at some point, which would be much preferred.
Well, they've gone from the opening band to the main support. So I totally see, like, next year or the year before or year after, they're totally going to be in that headlining slot, and there's going to
Yeah.
be bands opening for them because they've gotten worldwide appeal.
Yeah.
They have a sound that's really their own. I mean, there's a lot of bands doing the Native American folk black metal kind of stuff now.
Yeah.
Some of them focus more on, like, the bluegrass or Americana, like Panopticon or Nicheshwan. But of course, with Black Braid, like, full-on Native American stuff, they incorporate a lot of stuff that I've actually seen in powwows.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, as a white man, I was even allowed to go in there because I know it's very sacred, but my ex-brother-in-law is Native American, and he wanted my brother and I and his wife at the time, my half-sister, to go see a powwow. So it's
Yeah.
like a lot of those things that I've heard during those experiences, like, I hear in Black Braid, and then you
Yeah.
mix that with the right kind of black metal, it's really magical.
No, definitely.
And it's cool stuff, and I want to see how they pull it off live.
Absolutely.
And of course, I've never seen Wolves in the Throne Room before. I was gonna go see them, but they decided to play in a cornfield in Iowa instead of the Triple Rock one night. They just, like, did not show up to the show, and they played in a cornfield. But, that's kind of how it is right now for our 2023 shows, which is the same as 22, 21, and 20, where we
Yes.
haven't seen a single one.
It's true.
But there is one potential saving grace that's coming up in the future.
Possibly.
How are you feeling about seeing the emo lads in Story of the Year doing all of Page Avenue?
Right. I love the idea of seeing them, and I love the idea of seeing that entire album, and I love their album this year too, so I'm sure they'll throw some of that in there as well.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine they're just doing the album.
Yeah, I have some concerns outside of that though, with the state of the world and stuff like that, so I'm still a little on the fancy poo, but we'll see what happens.
And there's one show happening next year that I would love to see because it is a very, very small venue at 7th Street Entry. A modern metal band called Dead by April is going to be doing their first U.S. run.
Yeah.
And that's a 75-person capacity.
Yeah.
So I don't
Not as
think we
bad.
would have to really worry too much.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason it moves over to First Avenue, which of course is the same building, just one door away.
Yes.
But we'll see what happens. But right now it says 7th Street Entry. It'd be very small, and maybe even for the next segment I might remind you of what they sound like.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
I'm getting so much better at these segues with you because I keep leading into stuff. Yes, it is the musical roulette of 3 random songs that the Metal Faerie is not familiar with, that I'm familiar with potentially, and just getting her real, uncensored, unpoliticked opinion. If you've checked out previous shows, you can see how much love she has for bands like Maudlin of the Well and
Yes,
Meshuggah and
love.
Atreyu.
Fave.
So let's see what happens this time around.
All right.
First up is a band that I've been enjoying for right about half a decade now, once I first discovered them, and I played you what I didn't realize till just now was a Japanese bonus track off of one of the albums that they have from Dead by April, since we literally just got done talking about them.
Yes.
The song, 'Cause I Need You. What do you think?
I think I like it. Like, it kind of is it reminds me of Justin Timberlake meets metal.
So catchy and metal, what's the problem?
Which on paper sounds like it should be right up my alley. I think I just need a little bit more time with it, though, to let it settle.
That is fair.
Like, let me specify, Justin Timberlake meets, like, emo depressing metal. Well, not musically, though. It's kind of dancey musically, kind of, in a way. It's a weird mix.
Well, it's a sad song.
Yeah, but lyrically emo.
And JT has written his fair share of sad songs as well.
He sure has. He sure has.
Oh, don't worry. We'll be talking about some of that later.
Yes, we will. But no, I think I could like it. I think I could like it with more time.
That's fair. And I know not everyone's going to be into them because, yes, it is very much of that modern metal, kind of the modern pop influences.
Yeah.
Emo lyrics. But I just find it so damn catchy.
Oh, for sure.
And they have other songs that are heavier, some songs that are lighter and stuff. I just went with one that kind of hitting the feels a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, we're both kind of in the feels right now, so I just wanted a song to match that.
Exactly.
Let's see if we can do something different about that right now. So going from something that was a little, on the heartbreak side into the master of positivity, Warl Dane, off of his album Praise for the War Machine. And the song Lucretia, My Reflection, which I learned is a new mission in the DLC for Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, which we'll be talking about later. But of course you are well versed in Nevermore.
Yes.
Or at least the 7-string era. You haven't really listened to the early Nevermore albums.
Yeah.
But his solo work, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I never really listened to Warl's solo stuff until you. So, cue the, you're welcome. But I enjoy it. I mean, I don't go to it too often. I still am way more of an Nevermore fan, but I still enjoy it, and I love his voice. So, I mean, he'll forever be one of the best vocalists, so.
And that will be a list we'll be doing at some point.
Absolutely.
Maybe even alluding into what we're going to be doing next. Maybe even a bracket fights of our favorite vocalists.
Ooh.
That might be a fun way to do it.
Maybe. I want to do a list at some point, too, but we could always do a bracket fight, too.
Yeah. But, Warl's solo stuff is much simpler.
Yeah.
It's not as progressive. It's not as technical. It's more hard rock, heavy metal than progressive metal, thrash metal, technical metal. And, of course, the ballad Brother just brings a tear to my eye every single time when you listen to the lyrics because it hits so close to home for me.
Yeah.
But this song that starts off the album, I think it's just like a great representation. It's not Nevermore. It's not Nevermore songs that are left over. It's what Warl Dane wants to do.
Yeah.
And you can hear that throughout the entire album, and I think it's just a good, fun, well, not fun, but enjoyable heavy metal album. And finally, just to take us out of this depression funk, I decided to go with a cover. A cover from the band Arsis. And if you know anything about Arsis, at least a little bit, you would never expect them to cover, Corey Hart. and Sunglasses at Night.
Yes.
Off of the 2013 album Unwelcome.
Yes.
Now, as a Corey Hart knower,
Yes.
and someone who has seen Arceus at least once,
Yes.
what do you think of this cover?
I enjoy it. I like Corey Hart, and there's a fun remake of it. Arceus, outside of this, I know we've seen them. I remember seeing them when we saw Flesh God and Winter Sun at a children's theater in Eau Claire.
Yes. Never forget that show.
Never forget. If we have seen them outside of that, I can't remember where or when. They're just not a band I've really ever gotten into. But I do enjoy this cover, and I do listen to this cover every once in a while.
Well, maybe it's time to give the rest of their discography a chance, Len.
Or not.
Why not?
Just not my cup of tea.
But that... You enjoy the cover.
Because I know the song already, like...
Well, yeah, you know any song if you listen to it more than once. You start to know what it is.
I don't want to listen to their other songs.
The eternal struggle. I get it. You know, the tech death stuff's not your thing.
No.
I know it won't be.
No.
But when you can have fun with it like this...
Yeah.
Perhaps that's a conversation for a different day.
Or not.
Oh, we will. But for now, that is the musical roulette of 3 random songs. All right, so we got a brand new segment here.
Yes.
I'm going to do a little bit, and you're going to do the rest of it here.
Okay.
You damn kids! But no, seriously, yes, we live in an apartment, and there are children afoot once in a while. That's why I usually do most of my stuff at night.
Yes.
But we have been trying to do some Halloween stuff all of September, and now we're in October.
Spooktober.
Ooh. But we originally had, like, an idea to do, like, our favorite Halloween villains.
Yes.
But then a different idea came along.
Yeah, we wanted to amp it up a little bit, so we thought we'd take a different approach with this and do a horror villain bracket. So we gathered a bunch of horror villains, and we're going to go through and kind of decide who would win in a battle. I mean, I think your kind of favorites will play a role in it as well, because how can you not have it kind of play a little bit of a role? But we'll try to be a little bit objective with it as well and really kind of look at, who is the ultimate horror movie villain.
And I am shuffling the seating of all of this, so neither of us know who will face who.
Yes.
And I didn't want you to really study any of the villains. I know you like to be prepped and everything for pretty much that we talk about.
I do.
But I want this one to be 100% spontaneous.
Yes.
I want just the initial reaction, whatever feels right at the time.
Yeah.
So 10, 5, and one more. All right. First up, we have
Frankenstein's monster versus Chucky.
Now, first off, which movie franchise do you like more, the Frankenstein series or the Child's Play series?
Child's Play.
Child's Play?
Yeah, I love Child's Play. I mean, it's one of the ones I grew up with, and I love Frankenstein too, but it doesn't have that place in my heart like Child's Play does.
I associate more with Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Because I am like a gentle monster, basically. I mean, just look at me. But the Child's Play movies, I've mentioned this at least before to you.
Yeah.
Child's Play 3 was the movie that kind of put me off horror movies for a long time.
Yeah.
Because when I was a little kid, when I saw it, and it was like, this is supposed to be scary? This is just stupid. And it took me a little bit longer to get back into horror movies from then. And it's been kind of off and on, and right now I'm fully on right now with it.
Yeah.
But I say this is a little hard to say which one is better because, well, the initial Child's Play movies are actually great.
Yes.
Then they turn in funny.
Yeah.
Then they become, what the hell is this? Whereas the Frankenstein franchise, it went from like 1930s scary, and then there was the Hammer horror movies. Then they tried bringing it back with Robert De Niro in the 90s after that Francis Ford Coppola Dracula.
Yeah.
Everyone forgets about that one.
Yeah.
And even more so, they forget about Jack Nicholson as Wolfman.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, everyone forgets that stuff. But, like, the initial Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, which, for those not in the know, is the first book
Right.
of Frankenstein, those two mean more to me than Chucky.
Right.
But all of that said, who would win in a fight?
I feel like Chucky would. Like, Frankenstein, like, he's kind of this lumbering idiot in a way. And Chucky could run circles around him. He just, like, slice his ankles and it'd be over.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Frankenstein's monster isn't really a villain. He's considered a villain.
Yeah.
But he's not really a villain.
Yeah.
It's not his fault that he's an abomination.
He doesn't know better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And all the stuff that he did, he thought he was just being normal. Yeah, it's just a great movie about being ostracized and stuff. But, with Child's Play, like, he has the serial killer mindset.
Absolutely.
So he could easily kill Frankenstein.
For sure.
So easy. So, yeah, we're both going with Frankenstein here. No fights
Chucky.
in this one. Or, sorry, we're going with Chucky with this one. No
Yes.
arguments here.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, this is interesting.
So we have Radu from the Subspecies series, and then we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface.
Yeah, I was not expecting this
wasn't
matchup
expecting
at all
this
either. So we got an anti-hero.
Yeah.
And we got the man who dresses up in a dress and eats Pizza Hut in Texas Chainsaw 4, The New Generation, the greatest of all of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
Of course.
So, first of all, again, which
Yeah.
series do you prefer, Subspecies or Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I mean, I would say as a villain, like, I should say as a character, not a villain, but as a character, I like Radu more. He just has more of a place in my heart than Leatherface does. But if we're talking about who would win, I feel like Radu is way too emotional. And Leatherface is just out to do whatever he's got to do, so he would probably win.
That's what I'm trying to figure out here, is because, like, Radu's smarter than Leatherface.
Absolutely.
Leatherface does what he's told.
Yes.
Where I feel like that could be an advantage, where Radu could, trick Leatherface and easily kill him.
You raise a very good argument. He's definitely way more intelligent than Leatherface. It's just that line of sometimes that doesn't even matter if you're that, like, strong and just, like, I don't know, like, just that much of a force,
That is a very fair point.
Yeah, and especially, like, there's other characters on here that I would say have the same kind of, like, intelligent factor, but there's way more to them than Radu, I would say.
Okay, so Leatherface?
I think so.
Okay.
Do you think so?
Yeah, let's go Leatherface.
Okay.
And besides, I feel like Radu is more of an anti-hero than he is a villain anyway, so...
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. We have Pennywise versus the gang from Puppet Master.
All right, first of all, which do you enjoy more, it or the Puppet Master series?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with Puppet Master. Like, I the original It, I absolutely loved growing up. I watched it every time it was on TV. I remember it was on USA. I think I was a lot.
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time.
But Puppet Master has always just had an even more special spot to me. Like, it's one of the ones that I'd run from the movie store growing up, and I just love the feel of it. Yeah. How about you?
Oh, I haven't seen all the Puppet Master movies, but I have seen both iterations of It.
Yeah.
So I think for that reason alone, I have to go It, for which I enjoy more.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But now the real question is, who would win?
See, I would go with Puppet Master because you have so many different characters there that each kind of bring their own strengths. Whereas with Pennywise, I mean, if some kids can defeat him, I mean, some puppets definitely can.
Especially kids that do some things that would get anyone canceled nowadays if you talk about what they do in the book.
In the book, yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, they did not recreate that in
No.
either the TV series or the movies. But it kind of almost feels like something Puppet Master would do. But
Maybe.
yeah,
Battery acid.
yeah. But no, I think I have to agree with you. I think Puppet Master, like with all their different strengths.
Yeah.
And, it's just like Pennywise goes after children, and the puppets don't have minds of their own.
Yeah.
Because, they're puppets.
They're puppets.
So I feel like Pennywise would easily lose because there's no way he could control them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're going to go Puppet Master here.
All right. Okay, up next we have...
The Fireflies from the Rob Zombie trilogy. Well, it's not that funny.
I mean, it's not the Fireflies.
Yes, it is.
Sorry. I was thinking...
it's the Firefly trilogy.
I thought you were making a joke about it being Bray
Us?
Wyatt and his group.
No.
WWE.
Maybe that's where Bray Wyatt got it from.
Yeah.
But no, it's the Firefly trilogy.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yes, Devil's Rejects.
And Three from Hell.
Yes.
Which the picture included does not include the one that replaces 2D effing Fruity in there, but one with the mainstays here.
Yeah.
Versus...
Is that Samara from The Ring?
Yes, that is Samara from The Ring.
I couldn't make out from here. So as far as which one I like more, like I love the Devil's Rejects and all three movies, but Devil's Rejects is my favorite out of the three. The Ring I enjoy, but I don't have as much like a personal connection to it, I feel like.
The Ring or Ring You?
Both. I enjoy both.
Okay.
Yeah. You?
Yeah, even though I don't like House of a Thousand Corpses, and to be fair, I didn't like it the first time I watched it, so I think that kind of had a disdain for me, so maybe if I watch it again, I won't feel the same way.
Yeah.
I think The Devil's Rejects is one of the greatest horror movies ever made, and I think Three from Hell caught too much crap.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was really good. It was like two short stories mixed together.
Yeah.
And I thought it worked really well. Whereas I never bought into The Ring or Ringu.
Yeah.
I know you showed me both versions, and I don't know, I just never bought into it.
Yeah.
And I feel like Bill Moseley and company would just find some way to utterly destroy the chick from The Ring.
I would agree. Yeah, they have no, like, there's nothing holding them back. They'll just do whatever they need to do. And even though you wouldn't peg them as being intelligent, they are intelligent with, like, their killing and stuff like that. They're smart about what they know.
Yeah, I think they could easily kill the child that lived in a well.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we're going to go with the Fireflies here.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
So we have Damien from The Omen versus the Invisible Man.
Now, I already know you like The Omen more.
Yes, absolutely.
I actually feel the same way.
Yeah.
Even though I love the idea of the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily mean the Hollow Man, the Kevin Bacon remake that came out in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But same basic thing. But Nemo, Omen,
yes.
Damien, whether it's the original series or the one that had Julia Stiles in it, which I'm kind of surprised they didn't keep going with that series. I felt like they could have kept going more with it.
I really liked it.
But come on, he's the child of Satan. He's going to easily destroy the Invisible Man.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, there's only so much you can do against Satan himself.
Yeah. Even though you're invisible, Satan can still see you, and the child of Satan can see you.
Exactly.
So, yeah, Damien wins this one easily.
Wins. He does. Oh, this is perfect. So we have Pearl versus the Orphan.
Yes, Pearl, we should mention, is from X and the movie Pearl, and potentially in the third movie with Maxine.
I hope so.
Yeah,
And then Esther on the other side.
Yeah. Isn't there a sequel to that coming out, or a sequel that did come out?
There was one that came out, I think it was last year, but I haven't seen it yet, so.
Oh, okay. So, which do you like more, first of all?
Oh, that's hard to say. I think probably Pearl, because she's just so out there, and like Esther is just like, she's crazy but not in an enjoyable way. Like, I love the movie, but still, like, it with Pearl, it's just like this wacky, enjoyable crazy.
I'm so happy you're home.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I think Mia Goth is a horror treasure.
She is.
Even though she has no eyebrows, but
yes.
But no, seriously, who do you think would win?
Oh, I think Pearl. Because, like, Esther, like, her thing is, like, she's scammed a bunch of families and stuff like that. And, like, has killed families who are convenient to her. Whereas Pearl, like, I feel like she could do anything if she really sets her mind to it.
She could be a star.
She could be a star.
Or she could be with a scarecrow.
Yeah, exactly. That too.
Yeah, 100% I go with Pearl.
Yes.
Just one of the great 2020s horror villains.
Yes.
Oh.
All right.
This one's interesting.
Yeah, we have Pinhead from Hellraiser versus Wolfman. What do you think?
Well, I will say I have more of an attachment with the Wolfman.
Okay.
Because, again, just like Chastised from the World and everything. You see, like, the Universal horror movies have that feeling of, like, being rejected from everything
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And the Wolfman just fits that perfectly as well. And, you know, just like that one time a year, or that one time a month when the moon is full, he has to go out and take his binging and purging and killing
Yeah.
into it. And who doesn't feel like that at some point?
That is true.
Although, to flip the coin, Hellraiser 3 did have Armored Saint get killed.
Exactly. Right? If you can bring Armored Saint down.
Yes. But, yeah. I love more Wolfman movies than I do Hellraiser movies because some Hellraiser movies are unwatchable.
Oh, sure.
So I think from the standpoint, again, that I enjoy Wolfman more.
Yeah.
What about you? Which one do you enjoy more?
I definitely enjoy Hellraiser more. Like you said, there are some movies that are bad, specifically ones without Doug Bradley. Like, I love Doug Bradley. He is amazing.
To be fair, we have not seen the remake yet.
That is true. And I feel like, I mean, he's from hell. Like, he'll skin the hair right off of Wolfman, you know?
But Wolfman can't die unless he has silver bullets, and Hellraiser doesn't have silver anything.
Well, maybe he'll put silver nails in him.
Maybe. Does he have silver nails?
I'm sure he could get some.
I mean, wouldn't silver melt in hell?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So, reason valid points here.
Sure.
I think on the surface, yeah. I mean, if you're from hell, I think you have a natural advantage.
You do.
So, yeah, we're going with Mr. Bradley.
Okay.
Not the military one that's in Hellraiser 3,
No,
but,
yeah.
you know, Pinhead himself.
Exactly. Well, this is a matchup. Okay, we have the Leprechaun versus the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Easily say without question I enjoy Leprechaun more.
Yes. Yeah.
Whether it's Willow, whether it is Hornswoggle, I enjoy the Leprechaun movies through and through. And even though some are so terrible, Leprechaun in the Hood 2 stands as one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I still enjoy watching all the Leprechaun movies.
Yeah, well, like, the Jeepers Creepers movies, they're a movie I'll have on, like, late at night while I'm sleeping. But, like, Leprechaun, it's hilarious, but it's, you know, has that creepy stuff around it, too, and he's just such a character. How can you not love him? Look at that face.
It's true.
Look at that face.
Yeah, and I've always had a bit of a disdain against the Jeepers Creepers movies because of the allegations against the director. Go ahead and look that up on your free time if you're not familiar with that.
Yeah.
But for that reason, and Leprechaun has magical powers to be able to do whatever he wants to kill people.
Yeah.
I think that alone gives him the one-up against it, yeah.
Well, and also Jeepers Creepers, he only comes out once a year, once every 20 years, or I can't remember what it was exactly. But like Leprechaun, he can come out a little bit more often, so he can have the upper hand.
Yeah, and he might be smoking with iced tea or something like that before he murders them.
You gotta do.
Yeah, you do what you gotta do.
Leprechaun wins.
So we're going with Leprechaun.
All right.
We're doing all the one side and then we're doing all of the other.
Yep.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So Chucky versus Leatherface.
Jinx.
All right. Ask again. Child's Play or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What do you like more?
Child's Play is definitely the stronger emotional tie for me. Like I love Child's Play, and like Leatherface, like, I mean, I watched it and stuff growing up, but it was never like one that I really had much of a connection to. So.
But come on, Matthew McConaughey, Renee Zellweger, they're eating Pizza Huts, and well, I always go to that one for some reason.
Yeah.
But much like in the previous round with Leatherface, Chucky could easily outsmart Leatherface without question.
Absolutely.
And unlike of being an anti-hero, Chucky is just pure evil.
Yes.
So I think he could easily beat Leatherface.
I agree, because he has the smarts, but he also could, like I said with his previous opponent, he could run circles around him and like just outsmart him with that too, you know?
Yeah. And he's so small, like, even when Leatherface tries to get him with the chainsaw, he could easily cut himself trying to get Chucky.
Exactly.
So, yeah, even though this is probably going to make a lot of people upset.
I'm sure.
And make sure to leave your comments down below. We're going with Chucky.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, this is going to be a tough one.
So, yes, we got the gang from Puppet Master versus the gang from, well, all Rob Zombie movies.
Yeah, well, the Firefly trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, again, Puppet Master, I take it?
Puppet Master definitely has more meaning to me. I love them.
This is probably the hardest one so far.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I'll choose the Firefly trilogy. But, like, who would actually win? I mean, it's kind of like the odds are kind of stacked even here because they both have the smarts and they both have different traits to be able to catch them into different things.
Yeah. They both have the same kind of smarts too. Like they have smarts in the way that in the way that they're when they are killing people.
Yes.
Like outside of that though, it's like nothing's there. Nobody's home.
See, and that's the thing. It's like it took a puppet master to make them evil.
Yeah.
Where the Fireflies are just evil to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think that's an advantage.
Yes and no. Like I guess I feel like Puppet Master with being tiny little characters and outnumbering them, like they could still kind of run circles around them and just outsmart them in that way by size. Because like they'd be like, oh, where do they go?
You look at your autograph picture of Bill Moseley and tell him that he's going to lose to Puppet Master, the Puppet Master puppets. You do it right now.
No, but
Because you can't do it.
I don't know. I just feel like Puppet Master would have the upper hand or lower hand, I should say.
I still think it would be the Fireflies. So we actually haven't figured out what do you want to do? Rock, paper, scissors?
I guess.
Do you have a coin? We could flip a coin.
No, I don't have a coin.
Okay. Is it rock, paper, scissors or rock, paper, scissors, shoot?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what?
That's fine.
No, I was asking like rock, paper, scissors, shoot or rock, paper,
okay.
scissors.
Shoot.
Okay, all right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. How many? Two out of three?
Yeah.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay. What?
Don't you just love how planned we are?
We're tied 1-on-1 right now, people.
Yes.
Hold
okay.
on.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ha! The Fireflies win.
Not in my mind, but it's
But
okay.
to continue on, here we go.
Yeah. Oh, so Damien versus Pearl.
What do you like more first?
What a couple they would be, wouldn't they?
Oh, as soon as Damien turns 18, they would be the perfect couple.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Damien on this one. I mean, as far as like movies that I enjoy more, probably Omen.
Okay.
I do love Omen, but it's hard because Pearl's winning my heart over more and more.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Damien would win this one because again he is Satan, so
Son of Satan.
So I think he'd have a little bit of an upper hand on Pearl.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Pearl's human.
Yes.
There's nothing supernatural about her. She's just psychotic.
Yeah.
Where, again, facing the son of the devil,
Exactly.
I mean, you're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
So, yeah, Nemo himself.
Yes.
Damien wins this one.
Okay. Pinhead versus Leprechaun.
Now, again.
As far as which one I enjoy more, I'm gonna go with the Hellraiser. Yeah, I mean Hellraiser has more meaning to me.
Okay.
And I also think Pinhead would definitely destroy Leprechaun.
Now, what makes you say that?
I mean Leprechaun. I mean
He uses magic.
but his humor will get the best of him. You know, he'll be trying to pull a little trickster on Doug Bradley, and he will just send him straight to hell. On the rainbow to hell.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Because I'm right.
Because you're right, yeah. Well, that pretty much saved that whole speech. Yeah, Hellraiser, Pinhead,
Yes.
the Cenobite, whatever you want to refer to him
Whatever.
as, he will destroy Leprechaun.
Yes.
Chucky versus the Fireflies.
Chucky, I mean, Child's Play has more meaning to me, and Chucky will win.
But the odds are against him. It's 3-1, or 4-1, depending on how you want to look at it.
Sure, but he has more intelligence in every way, shape, and form than they do altogether.
Yeah, but they could also just treat him like the doll he is and just step on him and it's over.
And that will only anger him more, and then he will come back with a vengeance. But especially if he gets his wife and child involved.
Could you imagine that trios match of the Chucky's family versus the Fireflies?
Yes. Oh, that would be amazing.
I also feel like Chucky would win this.
Yes.
And again, feel free to get mad in the comments below.
Yeah.
We encourage it. That only gets the views up the more that you interact with the video. But yeah, I'm going to go Chucky with this one as well.
Yes.
Damien versus... they're both from hell.
Yeah.
First of all,
Hellraiser is more important to me than Omen. I feel like Pinhead would win because he is more intelligent than Damien. Damien is a child still at this point, anyways.
Yeah, but think about the sequels to The Omen, where he's a full-fledged adult then.
Right, but like I just feel like Pinhead is more street smart. Like Damien grew up
hell smart.
Yeah, Damien grew up like even being the son of Satan. Like he grew up in this like privileged like little world, whereas
it's all for you, Damien.
Yes, whereas Pinhead has like the street smarts as well, so he could totally outsmart Damien.
Oh, this is a tough one.
I know.
I get what you're saying, but he's also the son of the devil as well.
Sure.
Whereas Pinhead works for the devil.
Sure, but sometimes people working for you know more than your own blood.
Aha! Bringing real world into this. Oh, just to not keep this going longer than it needs to. Yeah, I will also go with Pinhead.
Okay.
Which leads us to the ultimate battle on the left side of all of this.
Yes.
Chucky versus Hellraiser.
Oh gosh. I love both. I would say Child's Play probably has a little bit more deeper meaning for me, but I feel like Pinhead would win the fight.
Now, why would you say that? He can't peel off Chucky's skin, it's plastic.
Right. They both have intelligence, but I feel like Chucky, part of his intelligence is that kind of lowbrow criminal. And Pinhead is way more well-rounded, I would say, with his intelligence.
I can see what you say, but, it's just like, he has such a desire for skin.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing.
Yeah.
And if he's fighting Chucky, that would make him weak because he's losing the pleasure that he has in life, the skin, the deeds of the flesh, as you will.
Yeah.
Where I think Chucky would actually have the advantage to that because all you'd have to do is, either figure out the puzzle or find a way to kill Pinhead.
But I don't think he could do either of those. And even though Pinhead doesn't want him for his plastic, I feel like he would just be in his way, so he'd just get rid of him for that reason alone.
But how do you get rid of a soul?
Well, you get rid of the body and just make sure it doesn't get reformed into a new one.
Oh, like what they did in Halloween 3, where he's encased in concrete and then he becomes the entire building?
Exactly.
I want to go with Chucky.
Yeah.
But I do have to agree with you. Mm-hmm. It is Pinhead for the left side of this tournament.
Yes.
Now for I can't even imagine what's going to happen next for these matchups.
I feel like this is going to be hard.
It's going to be very tough. Who could defeat Hellraiser?
Right. All right. We have Norman Bates from Psycho versus Michael Myers from Halloween.
Well, first of all, what matters to you more, Halloween or the Psycho series?
Definitely Halloween.
Definitely Halloween.
Like I love
even though
Psycho,
it's Alfred Hitchcock.
I love Alfred Hitchcock. I love Psycho, but Halloween is just classic horror.
Even Season of the Witch.
Even Season of the Witch.
Or Halloween H2O, where he kills Exhibit.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Halloween means more. I love the first Psycho movie. Yes. The rest are unwatchable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I also have to go with Michael Myers on this one because, he can't die.
Yeah.
Whereas Norman Bates is just human who's a psychopath. See, the real, it's one that would have been great was who would win, Norman Bates or Pearl. Yeah. That would be a great one.
Yeah.
And I almost wish that would have shown up here.
I know.
But yeah, I think just for the supernatural powers, Michael Myers has to win.
Yeah, he would definitely win. I mean, Norman Bates is just the psycho mama's boy, whereas Michael Myers definitely had some family issues, let's say. But there is no bringing him down.
All right, John Carpenter or Rob Zombie versions? Or the new trilogy.
Right. John Carpenter, but I do like Rob Zombie ones, and the new ones, I don't like the last one, but the first two were enjoyable.
Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight.
Right?
All right, yeah, we're going Michael Myers. Yeah, baby. Oh. All right, two people who can't die.
Yes.
The Mummy and Candyman.
Yes. Candyman is my favorite movie. And
favorite movie of all time, right?
Yes, favorite movie of all time. He is my favorite character probably of all time. Tony Todd is one of my favorite actors of all time. Like, I love that movie. And I absolutely think he would win this battle. I mean, the mummy's just a mummy.
Right, but he's unkillable. He's very slow. He's very slow.
Yeah.
But he can't be stopped.
Except for by Candyman, because Candyman's already dead. And he can appear wherever he wants to and off anybody he needs to.
Well, the bees aren't going to work on a mummy. There's nothing to get.
He doesn't need the bees.
It's just going to be the hook, huh?
Exactly. He's going to hook the paper that he's wrapped in and undo him.
Come back! Come back! One of my favorite reads of any line in a horror movie. Yeah, I love the original Mummy so much.
Yeah.
Boris Karloff is amazing. It's the Mummy, but
Also, I would argue that Candyman is probably the most intelligent horror villain ever.
oh yeah, without
So,
question.
hands
And
down.
I also say that when it comes to the remake as well.
Absolutely.
Possibly my favorite horror remake.
Maybe. Yeah.
But again, that's a conversation for a different time.
Yes.
But yeah, Candyman's gonna win this one.
Yes. Oh. All right.
The two greatest comedy horror movies of all time.
So we have Angela Baker from Sleepaway Camp, and we have Art the Clown from Terrifier.
First of all, what do you enjoy more?
Oh gosh. So we're newer to Terrifier. We just recently.
Right, but we're all caught up on Terrifier.
We are. At this point, I'm still gonna say Sleepaway Camp because that's one I've loved forever. Whereas Terrifier,
Even though Angela changes.
yeah, I know. But whereas Terrifier, I love, but I'm still falling in love with it.
That's fair. But Chris Jericho only appears in one of those franchises.
Well, that is
and it's not
true.
Sleepaway Camp.
That is true.
In a meaningless role at the end of
Yes.
Terrifier 2. Well, again, I have to point it this way. Art the Clown has been killed twice.
Yes.
And has come back both times.
Yes.
Whereas Angela is just a human.
Yes.
And there's no way that she could outsmart Art the Clown. No way.
No.
So I'm going Art the Clown.
Yeah, Angela, while crazy and can do a lot on a bunch of campers, she would not stand a chance against Art the Clown. So Art is the winner.
Ooh. Okay.
Annabelle versus Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street. Definitely Nightmare on Elm Street has more meaning to me. That's
F you, Freddy.
Nightmare 3 is probably my second favorite movie of all time. Well, actually, I haven't equated The Crow in there, so that's up there too. But he is my second favorite horror villain of all time. I also think he is, again, one of the most intelligent horror villains there is.
I've never seen Annabelle, but I do know she can't dream. Freddy attacks you in your dreams, so I think Annabelle wins.
Well, but it's not Annabelle that does stuff. It's like a goat, she's possessed essentially. So it's like a demonic spirit that
Okay,
does
but
stuff.
does the spirit sleep?
No.
So the spirit wins.
But Mr. Frederick has been brought into reality before, and yes, he doesn't have power there.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but
It's not based on who you like more, it's on who would win in a fight.
Yeah, but
and if you take away all of Freddy's powers, he would lose to Annabelle.
But could a demon really hurt Freddy though, since Freddy isn't really a living creature?
Well, if he's brought into the real world, then he can be killed, which
But
is
he
what
can't
happened.
be brought into the real world by Annabelle because Annabelle and a demon can't pull somebody in from their dreams because they don't have dreams. So they could never even get to Freddy. So basically, they can't fight each other. So we just have to look at which one is more powerful on their own, which would be Freddy Krueger. Therefore, Freddy is winning.
I have to take your word for it because I've never seen Annabelle.
Yes.
So there we go.
All right.
Well, this one should be pretty easy. Ghostface from the Scream series versus Jason Voorhees.
Yes.
I'm kind of surprised we didn't include Jason's mom because she's the murderer in the first two. But
Yeah, but definitely Friday the 13th has more meaning to me.
Of course.
I am not a fan of the Scream series. I think they're just...
well, now I know what your problem is.
I mean, they're...
Wes Craven.
I know, they're fine, but I just feel like people make them into so much more than they are.
Thank you.
They are not this, like, Anyways,
Scream or I Know What You Did Last Summer?
neither.
No. Okay, that's the correct answer, but continue on.
But yeah, Friday the 13th definitely has more meaning, and definitely Jason Voorhees would win. I mean, the Ghostface is just some college kid. Well, different people, but college kid or mom or whatever the case may be at the time.
It's different in every movie.
Jason Voorhees is, again, this creature that will not die. So
yeah, I can't say it better. I have nothing to add. Jason would win this one easily.
absolutely. All right. We have Megan versus the Ginger Dead Man.
Now, I want to say, first of all, that we had 2 criteria for this list.
Yes.
They had to have their own franchise,
Yes.
and they had to be human-esque.
yes.
Like, that's why we didn't put Godzilla or King Kong or anything like that in there. We didn't do any animal-like things. We didn't do any
Jaws,
alien-type
Cujo.
things. Alien, Predator, stuff like
Yeah.
that. We left those out.
Yes.
These 2 are exceptions.
They're
Because
human-like, though.
they're human-like.
Yeah.
And even though there's only one Megan movie so far, they are writing a sequel.
Yes.
And now that the strike is done, which we forgot to talk about in the news, the writer's strike is done, they are continuing work on the sequel to Megan.
Yes.
So it counts.
Yes.
Now, Gary Busey versus Megan. Which one matters to you more?
So I will say I love Ginger Dead Man. It's terrible but enjoyable in such a good way. But I really love Megan. That was such a good movie. It was way better than I anticipated it to be.
Sidebar to that, we
Yeah.
did not see the PG-13 version. We saw the unrated version.
Yes.
So if we saw the PG-13 one, I know they cut some stuff out that could have changed how we felt about it.
Yeah.
But we saw the unrated.
Yeah. I would definitely say that Megan would win because, like, the Ginger Dead Man was just kind of stupid.
How dare you?
I know. But Megan was, like, intelligent and, like, witty, too, which was great.
But it's Gary Busey.
Exactly.
Gary Busey could kill anybody if he put his mind to it.
I mean, you have a point in some ways.
Just give him some angel dust and Megan's destroyed.
Oh, boy. I think Megan's got it.
I think you are right.
She will eat his head off.
And even though it won't happen, I just want to hear what your thought would be. Chucky versus Megan.
Ooh.
Since we're not going to get that in this particular ranking.
Yeah. I do think it's hard because I feel like Megan's smarter, but Chucky has more experience with killing.
But sometimes it's just primal. Like, it just comes natural to you.
It is. I do kind of feel like Megan could outwit him, though.
All right. Well, against my better judgment, I will have to say no to Gary Busey this one time. And I'll go with Megan.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, we have Dracula versus
Hannibal Lecter.
Mm-hmm.
Dracula means so much more to me.
Yeah.
Whether it's Bela Lugosi, whether it's Last Voyage of the Demeanor, or anything in between.
Yeah.
Maybe not Dracula 2000. But I just love the whole story. I love the book. I love everything about Dracula. Mm-hmm. It's just that perfect goth. It pretty much like real goth started with Dracula.
Yeah.
Even though gothic architecture and stuff started before him, but just like what we know is gothic now came from Dracula.
Yeah.
It came from Bram Stoker. And Hannibal, intelligent. Absolutely freaking intelligent.
Yeah.
That's how he's able to cannibalize so many people.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the problem. I don't think he would like the meat on Dracula. It'd be cold. There's no blood in there.
That is true.
It's just going to be rough and chewy for him, and he's not really going to enjoy it. That, and Hannibal Lecter is just a man, whereas Dracula is a vampire.
Yeah. As far as which one I like more, definitely Dracula holds more of a place in my heart. I do love Silence of the Lambs, but
Did you see the other movies?
Which?
Like Hannibal, Red Dragon?
I saw Hannibal. I don't think I saw Red Dragon, though.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I think they'd end up being friends because they're both after the same thing.
They are.
But if push came to shove, Dracula would win.
Yeah, there's one less human in the world.
Yeah.
And I can just picture this movie right now between Hannibal Lecter and Dracula. Like, there's one last person left in the world, and one of them has to feed, but he can't feed both of them.
Exactly.
It comes down to those two.
Well, then Dracula would eat Hannibal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way he would get 2 people.
Yep. Dracula wins.
Yeah, Dracula.
All right. We have the Deadites versus Sam.
From Trick or Treat.
From Trick or Treat, yes.
Oh, Evil Dead is my favorite horror franchise.
Yes.
And it wasn't until last year that I actually saw Trick or Treat, but I fell in love with it. It's an anthology horror, probably a little tug-collery for how much they use Marilyn Manson in the movie.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to that sequel, which is why Sam is on here. There will be a Trick or Treat too.
Yes.
And, of course, the Deadites, they can possess anyone at any time. Even Ash himself. But, yeah, Evil Dead means so much more to me. But what about you?
So, I mean, obviously Evil Dead I grew up loving. But since I first saw Trick or Treat, Sam has just grown such a little place in my heart. Even though he's a killer, like, he's such a little sweetheart. He's just adorable. I love him. And so that one has a little bit more place in my heart.
Okay. So, with that said, who would win? The Deadites or Sam?
See, I feel like the Deadites are like more all-out brutal, whereas Sam is a little bit more methodical. So I feel like unfortunately they probably could take Sam.
Easily.
Yeah.
They would easily take Sam.
Yeah.
They would possess Sam, even though he's already evil.
Yeah.
They would make him more evil.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Deadites, easily. 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Oh, boy. So,
Undead versus undead here.
yeah. So Michael Myers versus Candyman. Again, Candyman obviously has more meaning to me.
Of course.
Even though they're both unkillable, like, I feel like Candyman will win because he is so much more intelligent than Michael Myers.
And of course, you're not saying that at all from your bias of it being your favorite movie, your favorite franchise, your favorite actor.
No, not at all. But no, I mean, like, yes, of course, I'm a little biased, but, like, I do still find him to be, like I said, the smartest horror villain, and I feel like that does play such a role in this.
You have to be smart.
You do.
Or at least you have to be smarter than your victims.
Yeah.
Whereas Halloween pretty much, it wasn't the first, but it was one of the first where just everyone is so stupid and that's why they die.
Yeah. I feel that's the case for a lot of like the 80s kind of slasher villains and their victims. So many of the victims are so dumb. It's like, no wonder you died.
It's funny, they run in an empty field and there's just like one little twig on the ground and then they trip and fall over that one little twig.
Break their ankle and
and then just get slaughtered.
Yes.
Yes, I appreciate it from the fact that Candyman is very, very smart.
Yeah.
And, you know, he can kill people in more than one way, which is more than what Michael Myers can do.
Yeah.
He just kills him in one way, usually. Yeah. Whereas he has multiple ways, you know, psychologically and physically. So I think he does have the advantage.
Yes.
And I do have to give it to Mr. Tony Todd himself, Candyman.
Yes. Ooh,
undead versus undead once again.
Art the Clown versus Freddy Krueger.
See, Art the Clown is like Deadpool, and the end of Terrifier 2 pretty much shows that, where even though he's completely, utterly dead, he slowly started morphing back into life again.
Yeah.
And Freddy does the same thing.
Yeah.
So, but again, here's the real question. Does Art dream?
Yeah. I guess I don't know. I mean,
if you're basically undead, can't imagine you would really have dreams.
Right. I don't know. That's a hard one to say. I mean, I guess in a way we gotta kind of assume that they're both in the same place at the same time somehow, some way, and then which one will win. But in that case, what do you think?
I give it to Art. Honestly. I mean, even though he's never said a word, and Freddy is the master of the one-liners in horror movies.
Yeah.
More so than Chucky.
Yeah.
I just give it to Art because, like, he instantly comes back after dying.
He does. On the flip side, though, Freddy, like, uses your fears against you.
And what's Art afraid of?
Who knows? That's the thing. Only Freddy could know.
But what if he's not afraid of anything?
And that could be.
There's a lot of unanswered questions here, and that's what makes this so much fun to talk about.
Exactly.
It's a movie I would love to see, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. That would be amazing. Oof. It's hard for me to say that Freddy would win.
Terrifier on Elm Street.
Yes. Yes. It's hard for me to say that Freddy's going to lose. Because I do think he's intelligent too. But Art has that underrated intelligence. Like, you don't really notice, but, like, he has to have it because of everything he accomplishes in these movies, you know? So, yeah, we'll go with Art.
Are you sure?
No, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, leave your hate down below.
Yeah.
We are not picking Freddy. We are picking Art the Clown.
Ugh.
Jason versus Megan.
Yes.
The crossover we didn't know we needed.
Yes. I would love to see Megan just like destroy him. I think that'd be hilarious. Now, would it actually happen though?
All Megan has to do is change her voice to be Jason's mom and then kill him.
And she could do that.
Exactly. It would be simple.
She could outsmart him.
Yes. Just change her voice to Jason's mom and it's over.
And she can definitely run faster than those kids on the camp.
She can also dance better too.
Yes,
Remember this weird dance move she had?
I'm going Megan.
Yeah, I'm going Megan too for that reason.
Yeah.
And that's going to be an interesting one in the next one. I can't wait for that.
I know.
Dracula versus the Deadites.
Oh.
Demons versus a vampire.
I mean, I would say Dracula has more meaning to me. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, he wouldn't want to feed on them.
Oh, yeah. That would be awful.
That's gross.
And probably wouldn't have any blood left.
Yeah. And I feel like he also has that romantic side to him, too.
And so does Candyman.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In different ways, though. But, so I feel like they could use that again. I feel like they could get the upper hand on him.
Yeah, I mean, they could, like, shift into a normal-looking person.
Yeah.
That's part of the Deadite thing, and then,
Yeah.
just trap him, and then he'd be destroyed.
Yeah.
Stake through the heart.
It's true.
Stab him in hatred by vines of thorn, which
Exactly.
I have to change so we don't get
Yes.
ruined on YouTube. But, of
Yes.
course, that is a great Black Dahlia murder song if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But, yes, I am going the Deadites.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, this is so tough.
Oh boy. Okay. I am going Candyman because we don't know if Art the Clown is actually like a living creature or not. That's never really been defined. But
you saw the end of Terrifier 2.
Yeah.
You saw how he came back.
Yeah, but we know for sure, though, that Candyman is not living. So he can kind of come and go as he pleases and can't be taken out. And I feel like he is also way more intelligent than Terrifier.
But again, you don't know how smart he is because we've never really seen his real intelligence.
Well, that's just it. We can only go by what we've seen.
Right. Oh, God, this one's so tough. Again, I feel like Art could just, like, trap Candyman easily. But Candyman could escape. He could escape so easily.
Yeah, Candyman could not be trapped. Because he appears and disappears as he wants.
Unless someone says his name in the mirror.
Well, yes.
And then he has to show up there.
But, again, he shows up when he wants to, though. It's not always immediately.
Look, I know where the bias is going, and I know what you want to be number one.
But it's for good reasons. Because
I didn't say that.
It's not just my bias, because I do honestly think that he is.
Are you having as much fun with this as I am? I'm having a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
Oh. See, and I can only go off the original Candyman and the remake. I haven't seen the two real sequels. Okay, so I don't know if there's like more to Tony Todd's character that I'm just not familiar with.
No, nothing that I would bring up.
Okay. Oh, I almost want to do another rock, paper, scissors, but I can only imagine how boring that is for everybody watching and listening, especially not even being able to see us do the rock, paper, scissors.
Yes.
So I will go Candyman.
Okay.
Although if it comes down to the finals or something like that and we're different,
yeah,
we're doing rock, paper, scissors if it comes to that.
Okay.
But yeah, Candyman.
Okay.
Megan versus the Deadites.
Oh.
Again, which one do you prefer?
I think...
Tread lightly.
Even though I love Evil Dead, Megan has just won a special place in my heart.
How dare you?
I know.
How dare you?
I know. And honestly, I think she would win. Because the Deadites, like, they wouldn't want anything. They couldn't do anything to her. She's a doll.
They could just kill her for fun. They just kill.
How are they going to kill her? She's a doll.
The same way you would kill Chucky.
But they wouldn't be smart enough to.
But they are smart, though. That's how they can trick humans. They might be able to trick a machine.
They can trick humans, but they can't trick a doll because she doesn't have those human emotions that you can manipulate.
No, but she does have the artificial intelligence that was programmed by humans.
Yes, but she has the extra smarts that doesn't like let that like be an issue for her.
Or will she in the sequel?
Well, we are not there yet, so.
I know we're not. I just don't want the Deadites to lose right now.
I know, but Megan would win.
I I don't know. I still think the Deadites would. They would just rip her apart and her soul would be gone.
She doesn't have a soul.
Well, the machine stuff, like everything that makes her her.
I don't think they would know what to do with her. They wouldn't know what to make of her because they're just dumb demons.
You quit knocking the Deadites. I've had enough of your guff.
She is more intelligent than they could ever dream of being.
All right, fine. We're going to do smart versus smart then, all right? We're going to pick Megan, and you're going to have to decide who's going to win between Megan and Candyman. Yeah, battle of your intelligence. Go ahead. One that was a human and so smart versus an AI machine. Go for it.
Oh, I think he's about to start crying, everybody.
Shut up.
You gonna spout a tear?
Shut up.
You a tear coming out?
Come on, let's hear your logic in this one.
Okay, I would go with Candyman.
Of course you would.
Why do you hate me for liking Candyman?
No, I hate you because I had to not pick the Deadites.
You could have.
I didn't want to do another rock, paper, scissors.
Well, that's on you then.
And I wanted to see your intelligence fight because, it's just like an intelligent man versus an intelligent machine. So go ahead.
Yes.
Miss Missy.
Miss Missy. So, yeah, she has that, generated AI smart factor to her. But he has hundreds of years of, going through terrible things and, living with that pain and, built up pain inside of him that he can, bring out with this intelligent aggression.
And that's why he would lose. You just mentioned it right there. Emotion. Megan doesn't have emotion.
Right.
Yeah. She could use the emotion to manipulate him and kill him.
So I think for living creatures, yes, he is not a living creature. And she
has all the intelligence of everything that has happened in the world up until when she was created. And of course, any BIOS updates that they need to do.
Sure.
So she could know how to kill Candyman. That could be in her knowledge if she has everything in the world implanted into her biochip.
Well, she doesn't have everything in the world implanted in her biochip.
Well, at the end of Megan, that could be questionable. Because she I don't want to give away the ending of the movie, but she does learn basically everything at the end.
My point is that he has the passion to kill.
Right, and she kills without passion.
Yes, but she only kills things that get in her way. Whereas, he has the passion to take down whatever he needs to.
And even things that he doesn't need to.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Again, I think Megan would, because she has, all the information.
Yeah, but information doesn't always do everything, though.
But in previous arguments with Megan, you talked about how smart she is compared to a living creature. So are you saying the undead is smarter than a machine?
In this case. Not in every case.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
I think he's smarter than her. In the way needed to kill. But if not, hey, you said if it comes down to the finals, you'd... Well,
this is the semifinals. I mean...
Yeah.
Someone's got to take on Hellraiser here, so...
Well, it's true.
If we're doing rock, paper, scissors, I'm only doing it one more time.
Yeah.
So, I'll go Candyman.
Are you sure, though?
Yes. No, don't get me wrong, I enjoy Candyman.
Yeah.
And a lot of this I've been messing with you to make you think about things. But I will choose Candyman.
Okay.
Which leads us to the finals.
Yes.
Pinhead. Doug Bradley versus Tony Todd.
Yes. Pinhead, Candyman. Go.
One's from hell
Yes.
and undead.
Yes.
One is just undead through history.
Yeah.
Does Tony Todd even have real skin? I don't know.
Yes. I mean, some of it is in with bees and stuff like that, so...
So Hellraiser would win. If Hellraiser got one chain near Candyman, he's dead.
Yeah.
He just has to be within reach of one of his chains.
But the thing is that Candyman, can kind of come and go as he pleases. He could just vanish just like that.
Right, but what if he uses his emotions and he slips for a second and Hellraiser just takes over?
But that's not how he works. He's not a human.
Right, but we just talked about this again with with Megan. Like, he has the passion to kill.
Yes.
And kill anything that he needs to. What if Hellraiser, who's the master of persuasion as well, which is how he gets so many of his victims, just like Candyman, what if Hellraiser's persuasion is just stronger than Candyman's persuasion? Because they both basically have the same kind of intelligence where they try to trick their victims with persuasion.
Yes, but like Hellraiser doesn't, hey kid, want some of this candy? Whereas Candyman does it in more of a, let me show you this, and like entrances people.
Say Hellraiser could get like an image of Helen out there and Candyman falls for it. Boom. Dead. Gone.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's just like one of his victims from the past movies or something like that. And he tries to trick the image or just like whatever Hellraiser brings out there, because he uses multiple ways to be able to trick people. It's not just like, ooh, here's the pleasure and stuff like that. He uses different ways to be able to kill people. What if he uses like one of his past loves, or what he thinks is a past love, against him? Whereas Hellraiser has no love. He has love for pleasure, but he does not have love for any human.
Yeah.
See, you're thinking about this, aren't you?
I don't, but like, I still feel like Candyman, he's somebody who lost everything in one of the most extreme ways possible. And there's something to be said for that kind of built up rage that is stronger than just somebody who's just this devil.
But he lives in hell.
Sure.
So he's seen the most vile people. He's seen all the things that they've done.
That doesn't mean that he's, like, lost anything significant or been through the stuff that Candyman's been through.
No, but he could learn how to do those things from those people. Because they wouldn't take all the murderers in hell. They wouldn't be in hell if they didn't murder.
Sure.
He could learn from all of them on how to get his victims.
Sure, I'm not saying he's not smart and doesn't know how to kill, but, like, there's something...
I think he could be Candyman.
There's something to be said for strength of Candyman having been through so much. And yeah.
Look, I'm going Doug Bradley here. I'm going Hellraiser.
I'm going Candyman.
And I knew you were going to do that from the very beginning. So it's coming down the rock, paper, scissors once again. 2 out of 3 rock, paper, scissors, shoot style.
Okay.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
1-1.
Yes.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yes!
Surprise! With the upset victory in this household, Doug Bradley, Hellraiser, Pinhead, one of the Cenobites, whatever you would like to refer to him as, is the winner of this bracket fights of the nearly ultimate horror villain tournament. Narrowly escaping Candyman's hook with a hook of his own filled with chains, ripping off the skin of Candyman to become the winner.
He will never shut up about this.
For a little while. I'll eventually stop.
Sure.
But with that said, what did you think? Did you enjoy this segment? Mm-hmm. I would love to keep doing this if this was exciting. It was exciting for me. It was for you.
Yes.
But want to make sure that you enjoy it as well. So let us know in the comments wherever you're checking this out, or in the separate video that we're going to be doing, which is just this and not the rest of the podcast. Let us know what you thought of this, and also we're going to put a link to this particular list.
Yes.
And you can decide who will be your ultimate Halloween villain.
And let us all know all the ways that Josh was wrong and I was right.
And also be sure to let the Metal Faerie know that hell beats the undead every time. Now, if you thought that segment went on too long, just wait till you hear about what we did last night. So, like we mentioned earlier in the show, we did not go see Black Parade.
No.
We did not catch up on our Fox shows yet. We were gonna watch Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, and The Great North before this, but due to the days that we had, we just wanted to get on with the podcast. And we're probably gonna watch that stuff after, while eating dinner.
Yes.
Called dinner supper. But we decided to spend another $50 to Mr. Tony Khan. $150 in the past 5 weeks.
Jeez.
And we watched the inaugural AEW Wrestledream.
Yes.
And first of all, before we get into it, what did you think of Wrestledream?
I mean, it wasn't bad, but I just felt like, for the most part, with a few exceptions, it wasn't really pay-per-view worthy. There were a few exceptions to this that we'll get into, but overall, it wasn't as big as it could have been.
Yeah, I felt like so much of this was just like planned out the day before.
Yeah.
Maybe a week before, to be generous. But only a couple matches were really made ahead of time, and everything else just felt like it had to come together so quickly. And of course, the biggest thorn in my side to all of this is Wrestledream is supposed to be a tribute to former professional wrestler and founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Antonio Inoki.
Yes.
And there was maybe 30% New Japan guys there. Why didn't New Japan do something like this?
Yeah, it was a little strange that AEW was the one to do something like this. I mean, yes, they have kind of a working relationship with them, but like, if they were going to do something like this, you would have thought like it would have been fully stacked with guys from New Japan.
Yeah, especially when you're paying tribute to the creator of a wrestling promotion.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that wrestling promotion do it?
Exactly.
And of course, it started off in probably the most haphazard way in 0 Hour, which is the pre-show name for all of the AEW pay-per-views.
Yes.
It used to be the buy-in, but once Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, it became 0 Hour, because honestly, that is the better name than the buy-in. But they wanted to do a little tribute to Antonio Inoki. They had a table, they had his picture, they had bouquets of flowers, they had the grandsons of Antonio Inoki.
Yes.
They had a couple other people I'm not familiar with. They also had Rocky Romero.
Yes.
Which, why in the hell would you not have him wrestle when he's the booker for New Japan? But I digress.
Yes.
But first of all, Tony Khan sounded like this the whole time. Like that skit from Saturday Night Live where Will Ferrell's just like talking obscenely loud, and that's the only volume of his voice that he has.
Yes.
He gave awkward handshakes and bows to Antonio Inoki's grandchildren.
Yes.
Rocky Romero gave him bouquets of flowers, and then Tony Khan knocked over part of the table and knocked the picture of Antonio Inoki down. And then he tried setting it up, and of course, as smooth as Colt 45, Rocky Romero just picks up the picture, holds it in front of him,
Yes.
right into the camera,
the day.
saves the day. And of course, that will be on Botchmania. It has to.
Tony is just, he's like this innocent little awkward guy, you know? It's endearing, but hilarious.
Sometimes you just can't help but mark out, and you
Yeah.
just mark out in the wrong ways possible.
Yes.
But then there was actually something I was not expecting in 0 Hour. 4 matches.
Yeah, there was quite a bit.
Like, there was barely any vignettes. It was almost entirely matches.
Yeah.
Which is something that I did appreciate a lot.
Yeah.
And of course, that first one.
Yeah, so it was an 8-person mixed tag team match with Athena, Billy Starks, Keith Lee, and Kojima against Shane Taylor Promotions, which is Lee Moriarty, Shane Taylor, Diamante, and Mercedes Martinez.
Yes, maybe this all came together in Ring of Honor, but I don't want to pay $10 a month to watch 1 hour of programming a week.
Yeah.
Although we basically pay for cable for 2 hours a week, but
That's another discussion. Anyways.
yeah, that's a different discussion. Sorry, that just came up, but it was a fine match.
Yeah.
I just had no reason to care.
Yeah.
And, of course, Athena, Billy Starks, Keith Lee, and Satoshi Kojima won with a pinfall. In a very quick match. It wasn't even 6 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. And then up next, there was a singles match with Claudio defeating Josh Barnett.
Yes, Josh Barnett, he has a show that he does every year called Bloodsport, which Jon Moxley has done all the time.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's a huge metal fan as well, too. Like, apparently he got his... I did look it up. He got his nickname, the War Master, from the Bolt Thrower album, War Master.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, I also didn't realize how old he was, or at least the ravages of age have taken a hold of him.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really familiar with him beforehand. I'd heard the name, but that's about it. So
I also remembered he did like one of my posts at one point. I don't remember which band it was, but it was an interview that I did, and he liked it, and I remember us talking about it.
That's funny.
Yeah, it had to have been sometime since 2017, but regardless,
Yeah.
Claudio Castagnoli defeated Josh Barnett.
Yeah.
And after the match, Josh got on the mic and talked about how great Claudio was, but they're not done. Anytime, any place, they will fight again.
Yes.
And it was actually a pretty good match. He's not really a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's more of like a brawler, which is the opposite of the technical side that Claudio is known for. But it was a good match.
It was. Then up next, Luchasaurus defeated Nick Wayne.
Yes, if you thought the mixed tag match was meaningless, this was less than 5 minutes. And Luchasaurus just destroyed Nick Wayne. And Nick Wayne didn't even get barely any offense whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we should probably talk about this as well, too. We both picked Athena's team. We both picked Claudio's team. I picked Luchasaurus, and you picked Nick Wayne.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's been kind of out with, not Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin so many times lately that I just felt like maybe they were going to try to start pushing him, but I was wrong.
And wouldn't you know it, I was right for the right reason as well.
Yeah.
That came at the end of the night. What I said was going to happen, happened.
It's true.
But we'll get there.
Yeah, and then up next, we had a 6-man tag team match for the AEW World Trios Championship with Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed defeating TMDK, which is Bad Dude Tito, Shane Haste, and Mikey Nichols.
Yes, this is a New Japan team that I'm not all too familiar with, but it is led by Zack Sabre Jr.
Yes.
You knew who was going to win.
Yeah.
Like, a team that they've never built up in AEW before on an AEW pay-per-view.
Right.
Or one of the most over trios in all of AEW.
Exactly.
The Acclaim and Daddy Ass. Yeah, I think it was pretty obvious who was going to win that one with the Acclaim.
Exactly.
So, that was everything for the pre-show. And if you want to go with our predictions, I'm ahead by 1 at this point.
Yeah. So then up first on the main event, we had MJF, who defeated the Righteous, which was Dutch and Vincent, on a 2-on-1 match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship.
Yes, the Righteous have recently been signed to AEW. I think they even got their own vignette and everything. But they were a big Ring of Honor thing.
Yeah.
We weren't watching at that time, but they were pretty big then, and now Tony wants to bring them into AEW.
Yeah.
And I get why.
Yeah.
They really have a Far Cry 5 look to them.
They do.
The bigger guy looks just like Joseph Seed, just a little chunkier. But in almost any handicap match that you've ever seen in wrestling, the one with the disadvantage always wins.
Yeah. Well, and especially in this case, MJF is like the guy.
He is the most over guy in AEW. Well, he might be the second most over guy, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, MJF is just like doing the perfect Ric Flair, Eddie Guerrero tweener thing where he's a bad guy and a good guy at the same time.
He's a bad guy, but he's our bad guy.
Yeah. He's our scumbag and we are his pores.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was a fun match.
Yeah.
But you knew what was going to happen.
Exactly. Then up next, we had Eddie Kingston defeating Shibata for the Ring of Honor World Championship and Strong Openweight Championship.
Yes, and Eddie Kingston is still a double champion.
Yeah. Who would have thought that would happen?
This late in his career, and yeah, I'm happy to see it. I mean, he's never going to win the AEW World title.
No.
But it feels right at home that he is the Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah.
And despite our little role play that we do where I'm Eddie Kingston and you're Eddie Kingston's mom, and we talk about how disappointed she is in him, you have to be a fly on the wall for that to work out. But no, it was actually one of the better matches of the night. Like, I don't think you were really watching that much on this one, but like they were really going back and forth, and it was pretty even. And then Eddie Kingston just came out with the win, which I was surprised by. And let this continue on for a while. This might be his last real title run. Let him have it.
Absolutely. Then up next we had Chris Statlander defeating Julia Hart for the AEW TBS Championship.
And wow, what a meaningless match.
Yeah.
Though, to be fair, we don't watch Collision.
That is true.
And Julia Hart has apparently been winning left and right on Collision.
Apparently.
And also, tidbit, she lives one town over from us.
Yes.
She's just across the river. But, there was no way Julia Hart was going to be Chris Statlander.
No.
Like, they built out Chris Statlander to be, like, this ultimate badass character, even though she used to be an alien from the Andromeda Galaxy.
Yes.
Now she's back home from New York, and just, like, she's almost like a biker chick now, which is kind of weird.
I don't know if I see her as a biker chick, but...
Well, she's wearing, like, the bandanas, and she has,
Yeah.
like, kind of the clothing of, like, bikers do.
Yeah.
I mean, she hasn't come out like The Undertaker, like American Badass stuff yet.
Well,
but,
that's true.
But that's yet to be seen.
Yet to be seen.
But it was just a meaningless match. And
Yeah.
I hate so much how the women's division is treated like an afterthought.
Yeah.
All of it is. Every single match, every single person is just an afterthought.
Yeah, and this was the only match. Aside from the mixed tag match in the pre-show, this was the only women's match, so...
Yeah, which is the case in... You know, when you have a 5-hour pay-per-view, of course you should only have one women's match.
Right? So up next, we had a 4-way tag team match for a future AEW World Tag Team Championship match, featuring the Young Bucks, who defeated the Lucha Brothers, also the Guns, and Orange Cassidy paired up with Hook.
Yeah, I will say, again, we pretty much thought the same through pretty much all of these so far. This was a difference. I had the Guns, and you had the Lucha Brothers?
No, I put Orange Cassidy and
Orange
Hook.
Cassidy and Hook, or as I like to call them, Hook.
Yes.
If you ever watched American Dad, an episode where Stan just does that kind of, ooh, that's where I took that from.
Yes.
But surprisingly, the Young Bucks won. I did not see that one coming.
Yeah.
I didn't think the Lucha Brothers were going to win because Phoenix is already the international champion. And then I figured since Nick Jackson is facing Phoenix coming up on Wednesday, that I figured that the Bucks weren't going to win either. But
Right.
maybe a last case situation planning here, but the Young Bucks won the match in a really... It was a fine match,
Yeah.
but I ultimately just found it pointless.
Yeah. Up next, we had Swerve Strickland defeating Hangman Adam Page.
Hey, you left someone out.
Well, yes, of course, Prince Nana came with Swerve Strickland down to the ring.
Yes. Stokely Hathaway crawled so Prince Nana could walk. And as the white guy I am, whenever I see Prince Nana dance, I'm just like everyone in the crowd, and I try to dance just like he does.
Yes.
My very fat self trying to do what a man under 100 pounds is dancing like. It's a sight to behold, and I only do it to make you laugh.
Yes.
But it works every time. Match of the night.
Yeah.
Honestly, this was the match of the night for me.
Yeah.
And I did not think that was going to happen.
No.
But no, Hangman and Swerve put on one hell of a match. Almost the longest match of the night, too. But yeah, there were so many false finishes. There were so many things that went so many different ways that either of them could have won. But of course, with Prince Nana's crown,
Yes.
Swerve hit Hangman with the jewels on his crown and then got the 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
And honestly, Swerve did need the win.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't really been winning, but he's got that cool aesthetic to him where
Yeah.
he doesn't need to win. But for anyone to take him seriously, he needs to have some wins under his belt.
Yeah. And of course, this is the one match of the night that I got right and you got wrong.
Yes. The only match.
There was some that we both got right, but this is the only one.
Well,
that
what did you
only
think
I got
about
right.
it?
Yeah, I would agree. It was match of the night for sure. Like they both and their promo on Wednesday night, I think it was, where they had like their contract signing. That was really good too. Like they actually had some like heat build up coming into this. So.
And I was sleeping at the time because I was dead exhausted, so
Yeah.
I missed all of it. Next up was the match I couldn't have cared least about in this entire thing, even though it has your boyfriend in it.
Yes.
Wheeler Yuta losing
I know.
to Ricky Starks.
So sad.
Yeah, pointless match.
Yeah.
I know they're trying to build up Ricky Starks. I just don't like him. And I hate that Wheeler Yuta always has to be the fall guy. He always has to be the one to take the pin.
He does, with very few exceptions, and that's sad because Wheeler's so amazing. I feel like.
Yes.
And
I don't say that just because he plays the steel drum either.
No. And yeah, Ricky Starks, I don't know. I've just never gotten that into him. So I don't know.
There's just something about his attitude
Yeah.
and his face that I just don't like.
So up next we had Bryan Danielson, who defeated Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah. People were talking about, they even said it as they were walking out. This is a dream match with the two best technical wrestlers in the world. I struggled to stay awake.
Yes, you did.
Although, to be fair, most of the pay-per-view, I struggled to stay awake.
You did, yeah.
But this was the match where I almost started falling asleep.
Yeah, I don't think I really watched hardly any of this match because it was just, at this point, I was just kind of matched out. I mean, this was the 11th match, so I was just playing on my phone trying to get through it.
If you like amateur wrestling, the Greco-Roman wrestling, this was the match for you.
Yeah.
That's not for me.
No.
And seeing two of them basically just putting on holds for each other for over 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a pee break. I don't care how good they are. They have to be paired up against someone who's not a technical wrestler for it to work.
Yes.
When you have two technical ones together, it might sound good on paper. But yeah, I almost cashed in and just fell asleep. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the worst match of the night. It's just the one that affected me the most.
Yeah. Up next, we had a 6-man tag team match with the Don Callis family, which was Takeshita, Will Ospreay, and Sammy Guevara, defeating Chris Jericho and the Golden Elite, which is Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, this one could have easily went either way.
Yeah.
Although it was probably smart for the Don Callis family to win. First of all, Don Callis is a treasure.
Yes.
Him and MJF are the best parts of AEW right now.
Absolutely.
And I am so happy that Don Callis has found like a new peak in his career right now.
Yes.
I mean, if you're not familiar, Don Callis was working with Kenny Omega pretty much his entire life.
Yeah.
Ever since he was like a little kid. And then, was it this year or was it last year where Don betrayed Kenny
Yeah.
by hitting him with a screwdriver? You can hear the Celine Dion going on in
Yes.
the background. But then he started his own thing. He wanted to work with Jericho. And then Jericho was like, yeah, I'll join up with you. And Don Callis wasn't expecting that. In fact, he had a painting commissioned
Yes.
where he destroyed Chris Jericho,
Yes.
holding his decapitated head, which led to them being on opposite ends.
Yes.
Then shenanigans later, and then we got the Golden Elite and Jericho facing Will Ospreay, which he is a part of New Japan, but it almost kind of feels like he's more a part of AEW lately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe he's going to sign with AEW next year when his contract goes out.
Yeah. Never know.
I mean, he says he doesn't want to move to America, but that's what Walter said before he joined WWE.
true.
And his currently now beating the Honky Tonk Man as the longest running WWF, WWE Intercontinental Champion
Oh.
for, I think, like 3 years now.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so, money talks.
Yeah.
But, there was so much betrayal in this match.
There was.
And I still think Kota is not treated the way that he should be. He's treated like Toki Wartooth in Metalocalypse. Like, he's just treated like this tiny, sheltered thing.
Yeah.
And he's not.
No.
He was a badass.
He is adorable, and yes, he gets lost at airports and stuff, but he's an amazing wrestler. So then up next, we had a tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship with FTR defeating Aussie Open.
A match I just don't care about.
No.
Like I was talking about last night with you, FTR has had so many peaks and valleys with me.
Yeah.
But they have finally crashed with me.
Yes.
Like, when they started in WWF and NXT, I loved them. Then I did not like them. Then I started to like them even more. Then when they joined, and then I stopped liking them. Then they joined AEW and I liked them.
Yeah.
Then I stopped caring.
Yeah.
Then you find out all the emotional mental health stuff and all the stuff that was going on with Dax Harwood and stuff. And right through the roof, I started
Yeah.
respecting him more.
Yeah.
Then Cash Wheeler had to go and destroy everything by, getting angry on the road and pulling out a firearm, and also their love and respect to CM Punk
Yeah.
just kind of ruined things for me. And
Yeah.
I don't think they've built out Aussie Open enough,
No.
and it led to my thought that everyone else seems to have either forgotten or just don't care about what happened to the ranking system.
It does not exist anymore.
The ranking system was, they were supposed to have like the top 5 people or teams or whatever, and whoever was number 1 would get the title shot.
Yes.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
It's just anyone at any time now.
Yup.
WWE style.
Yes.
And Tony Khan wanted this to feel like a real sports thing. And you took away the thing that made it feel like a sport. But yeah, I just didn't care about this match.
No. And then final match was Christian Cage, who defeated Darby Allin in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Christian Cage.
Yes.
I love doing Nigel McGuinness's accent.
Yes.
It's to the point of annoyance where I make fun of his voice, but I just constantly do it every time I hear him in a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But this was probably the second best match of the night for me.
It was just amusing. Christian is hilarious.
Yes.
He's such a character, and of course, like, having interactions with Nick Wayne's mother on the outside and stuff like that, and it's just funny.
Oh yeah, and then like after he got Darby Allin to lose a fall to a count out from smashing his body into the steel steps,
yes,
which apparently he legitimately got injured during that, which yeah, no kidding,
right?
Apparently Phoenix also got injured as well because that's all he does is get injured.
It's true.
Christabel.
Yes.
Just started to destroy the ring.
Yes.
He took apart the ring aprons. He took off the ring mats. So it was basically just down to the wood.
Yes.
And they started battling each other. And then after a little more shenanigans, Christian kept the title against Darby Allin. Mm-hmm. And you would think things would be over from there.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, but wait, there's more.
So we kept going off on Darby Allin, and then, of course, reinforcements come out. Sting comes out.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
You forgot the betrayal.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
My
because
apologies.
Nick.
That was first.
Yeah, because that happened during the match where Darby and Nick Wayne, like Darby is like the mentor of Nick Wayne, and they were just about to finish off Christian, and then Nick Wayne took a chair and smashed Darby with it.
Yes.
Much to his mother's chagrin.
Yes.
And Christian won the belt. Then they started beating the crap out of Darby a little bit more. Then Sting came out. And unceremoniously, Luchasaurus came out.
Yes, he just appeared.
Yeah, no grand entrance for Luchasaurus. No. But then, right before the concerto, which if you're not familiar, it's where Christian puts his victim's head on a steel chair, and then he grabs another steel chair, and then he goes and smashes their head in, so it's like chair on chair.
Yes.
So in a delicious pun known as the concerto,
exactly,
everything goes black.
Yes.
To quote another Black Dahlia Murder song in this episode, everything went black.
Yes.
And you see, and now our feature presentation.
Yes.
And we start hearing this like southern luchador style Spanish guitar and this like 70s car driving down the streets. Then all of a sudden, you think you know me. You hear Alter Bridge's Metal Lingus, and yes, Adam Copeland, aka or AFA, formerly known as Edge, is now all elite. And he comes down to the ring, and Christian's so shocked by all of this. Like, he was not expecting him. In fact, in the media scrum for All In or All Out, I think it was All Out.
Yeah.
Someone asked about, well, what do you think if your best friend Adam Copeland, Edge, joins AEW? And then Christian just says right in the mic, I don't have any friends.
Yes.
Which I think played into all of this.
I'm sure.
Because he comes out to the ring, and, well, first of all, he goes to the crowd, and he starts like, yeah, it's me, yeah. Before he goes to the ring and actually does anything, which is the AEW style at the time.
Yes.
He comes down, and you perfectly think he's going to join up with Christian, because Edge and Christian was like one of the biggest tag teams in WWE. He hands Adam Copeland the chair, and you think he's going to smash Darby, but then he smashes Nick Wayne.
Yes.
And then he smashes Luchasaurus.
Yes.
But Christian gets away.
Yes.
And for the first time ever, you see Adam Copeland and Sting in the exact same ring.
Yes.
Something my 10 to 12-year-old self could never imagine happening.
Of course, during all of this, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat thinking, well, where's Gangrel?
And on social media, on Facebook, I kept asking with every AEW post, where's Gangrel in all caps? Of course, if you're not familiar, Gangrel was the leader of Edge and Christian in a WWF group known as The Brood.
Yes.
Who had the coolest entrance and the coolest entrance music.
Yes.
But it basically was left with Adam Copeland and Sting shaking hands and Darby Allin as it fades to black.
Yes.
So, is that the new chapter of AEW that Tony Khan was talking about?
I mean, that's the only exciting thing that happened the entire night, so I'm assuming so.
Not even the betrayal? of Nick Wayne to Darby. That wasn't exciting at all.
I mean, they're not new chapter worthy of AEW.
Well, I think putting a new chapter behind any one person is a terrible idea.
I would agree.
So, where would you rank this compared to other pay-per-views? Is it like bottom tier, mid tier, top tier? You don't need specifics, just like a general idea.
Mid. Yeah.
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 There was parts I thoroughly enjoyed, mixed in with parts I could not care less with.
Yeah.
And maybe we should have saw Black Parade instead.
Maybe. I will say I did watch part of the scrum afterwards, and I mainly just checked it out to see Adam Copeland. And you can tell like how ecstatic he is to be in AEW, which was really refreshing to see, especially after there was so much effort put on so much emphasis put on CM Punk when he signed last year and stuff, and to have so much emphasis
2 years ago,
so much emphasis placed on Adam Copeland now, and like see him be like an actual like decent person and stuff. That was really refreshing. So that is one thing I will add to this.
Yeah, I immediately went to bed because the mental health medications that I'm on right now, I'm still adjusting to them.
Yeah.
So I get very tired very easily right now, and I'm hoping that'll change.
Yes.
But for the first time ever in AEW history, I missed a media scrum.
Yes.
I did not watch it at all.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else happened. I don't know any other questions or anything, but it does make me very happy to hear that Adam Copeland's happy to be there. From what I've heard before, like, he was feeling pretty miserable in WWE with the way things were going.
I can imagine.
I also heard, that, I think it was the last WrestleMania that we watched, or one of the last ones, where it was Edge versus Randy Orton. It was like a 45-minute match.
Yeah.
Apparently, he said before that was like one of his least favorite matches that he's ever done.
Yeah.
And I totally understand why, because WWE sucks, and I wish there was quite a few people that would have gotten let go from WWE so they could come right over to AEW. And I know that's terrible to say. I don't wish people would actually get fired, but I just want to see them in a company that's not horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see what's going to be happening, even though I'm going to be missing the first half hour of Dynamite because I have an interview going on there. I'm sure we'll at least have the screen on as we're doing it so you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that's enough wrestling talk for right now. I think it's time for us to get to some other stuff.
Okay, up next we have some gaming talk. So I'll start out with a few of my things. So as you know, I love some of those daily games on my phone. And there's been some new games that have come out with that. So completely new this week, Netflix put out another game based off of Love is Blind, which I love that show.
What is Love is Blind?
So Love is Blind. So basically, you get to know people in these pods, like, without seeing them, and then you have to agree to marry them. It's like sight unseen. Essentially, it's testing, is love blind? Can you get to know somebody and love somebody without seeing them? And then you meet each other, and you shuffle off to Mexico to kind of spend, like, a week together there, getting to know each other in person. You then come back to the real world, and they set you up in, well, some of the seasons, I think they set you up in an apartment, but then other times I think they lived in one of their apartments. But anyways, you live together for I think it's like a 3-week period. And then if you still love each other, you say I do at the altar. Otherwise, you turn each other down at the altar.
Oh, with the way you said that, it made it sound like they got married, before they even saw each other.
No,
so I was going to ask if they paid for the divorce as well.
No, you have to get engaged before you meet each other.
Okay.
So that's the way you get to meet each other in person, is if you get engaged.
See, that would have been funnier, and then if they have to pay for the divorce or not.
Yes. So this game is kind of, it's like choose your own adventure to a certain extent, but it's also kind of a storytelling one. It's kind of a mix of that.
I'll choose the Dark Pictures anthology for my choose your own adventure.
Yes. So there's new episodes that come out Tuesday and Thursday, and it's pretty interesting. I have 3 different playthroughs I'm doing because I was interested in 3 different guys. The look on his face right now is just hilarious. So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, it's a fun one so far.
You didn't choose the guy who looks like me, did you?
There was no guy that looked like you.
Exactly. Continue on.
Love Island, the game, also came out with a new season this week. It's better than last season so far, I will say that. This one's a little bit interesting because if you're not familiar with Love Island, so it's singles put on an island, spending time together, who couple up and stuff like that, and then halfway through the season, either the girls or guys are like brought to a different resort or house, whatever. And like if the girls are brought to another resort, new single guys are brought in with them, and new single girls are brought in with the guys that are there to see if they're tempted to like sway away from their partners or whatnot, or if they want to stick with their original partners. And so in this version of Love Island, the game, you're actually one of the girls that come in at that side like house to kind of sway somebody away from their original partner.
Do you watch the UK one, or is it just the USA one?
I've watched, I think, one season of it, but I like the US one the most. And then finally, Too Hot to Handle is still going on. I have a couple different run-throughs of that one as well, and one of them I got kicked off the island this time. So I don't know what's going to happen with that this week, but we'll find out. So that's my little world of gaming, but I know you've been playing Phantom Liberty. How that's been going?
Yes, I have. But first,
Yeah.
I need to let people know about Starfield.
Okay.
Because I actually did finish my first playthrough of Starfield. And I played for 6 days, 5 hours, and 16 minutes.
Jeez.
So I almost played for 150 hours.
Yes.
I was 44 minutes shy of 150 hours of playing through it. And I think I would have gotten done with it a lot faster had it not been for all of the constant crashes that happened with it.
Yeah.
But then again, that's a Bethesda game for you.
That's true.
I
It's
mean,
the charm.
if you laugh at the people that you kill and then they fall into the sky and never return, if you just people walking through walls or horses coming through out of nowhere, or any of that stuff. If you have to buy into that, you have to buy into the fact the game will crash and put you back into the home screen. So yeah, after almost 155 hours, I just figured that I should try something a little bit different, and lo and behold, I've been talking about it long enough, and I finally got to check it out. Cyberpunk 2077 2.0. This part's actually free. If you already have the game. It's basically what the game should have been when it released back in 2020. All the updates, almost all the bugs gone. Cops actually chase you now rather than looking stupid and say, what's going on? The shooting feels so much better, moving around feels so much better. The frame rate, the graphics, everything about it is so much better now. Too many things to mention because they list like 1,000 or more different things that they fixed up. But one thing that you did have to pay for, and I think it's well worth the $30, is the paid expansion for Cyberpunk known as Phantom Liberty. Sorry. Yes, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty is an expansion pack that kind of happens in the middle of the story. And you can pretty much finish it whenever you want to as well, but you have to at least get to like Act 2, if not before Act 3, before you can get into it. And it stars Idris Elba, who the world considers to be one of the sexiest men alive. So you get Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves in the same game. Ooh. But it opens up a brand new area of Night City. It's kind of like its own little island thing, although it's basically in a baseball stadium and the surrounding area to that. But it's huge. The missions are really fun. It ties into the Netflix anime show that I've never seen and have no intention of seeing, as I'm not an anime fan. But it's well worth the $30. I'm just about done with that story. I've been hitting that pretty hard all weekend while you were off doing your venture. And yeah, it's fun to be able to play this, and I wish I had the same experience back in 2020. I forced myself to believe it was good.
Yeah.
Because I bought into the hype train tooth and nail, hook, line, and sinker. Despite the game shutting off as much as a Bethesda game, besides all the bugs, all the things that were wrong with it. And I didn't have nearly as many problems as other people did. But now, playing what it should have been to begin with, there were so many problems back when it originally came out. But now, it is a very competent game. And whether you get it for full price or you get it on a deal, I highly recommend checking it out. What have you thought of it? It's like when you've seen bits and pieces.
Yeah, I mean, visually it looks amazing, and it seems fun. So, yeah, I haven't paid too much attention, like, story-wise, but, yeah.
There's a lot of dirty stuff in it.
Yeah.
So, be forewarned if you're a prude, or if you are a perv, you'll enjoy it very much. It's just a really fun game.
Yeah.
And I know it's not on the Switch, so you're never going to play it, but just in case it ever comes to the next Switch,
Yes.
I think it's something that's worth checking out.
Yeah. And finally, we have some music talk today. So I just have a couple things on my end. So over the weekend, I saw that LA Guns, the Steve Riley version, put out a new single. The Dark Horse. I actually really like it. It does not sound like LA Guns, I will say that. It does not sound like LA Guns at all.
What does it sound like?
It sounds like just kind of straight ahead rock, I mean, in a way.
Like from that era, modern day?
A little bit more modern, definitely a little bit darker than LA Guns, I would say. They just don't sound like a sleaze band.
That's very confusing.
Now, of course, the other version of LA Guns had a new album out earlier this year.
Yes, they did.
And now that sounds like LA Guns.
Yes, it does.
Granted, a very, very, very weakened version of LA Guns.
That is also true.
But this I enjoyed a lot more, even though it doesn't sound like LA Guns, just as a standalone song, not like separating the fact that it's part of LA Guns. I like the song.
They should have went with a different name.
Yeah, I would agree with that because it doesn't sound like LA Guns at all. So, and then I also saw that Diane Van Giersberg put out a new single.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
It was really good. Like, yeah, she's had 2 amazing singles now. I know she's kind of taken her time with like putting stuff out, so hopefully you'll end up with an album someday. But again, another great one there. And then also, NSYNC put out a song.
Yes, they did. I actually showed it to you.
Yes.
The day of, like, within an hour of it being released.
I know. Of course, it's just one song for the movie Trolls, and I don't think it'll be an album or anything like that. And it's fine. I mean,
Is it fine?
It's not good. They did what they needed to do for the assignment at hand, but it was not NSYNC glory.
Hey, JT is a part of the Trolls franchise. This is why it all happened.
I know. But that's music on my side. How about you? I know you got your top 10 together for the month.
Yes, I did get my top 10 of September 2023, and this was probably the hardest month that I've had to deal with doing all of these, because I narrowed it down from 30 to 10. And I know I left off a lot of good stuff, but I also have that a part of my overall best of 2023 list, which currently has 179 songs. Oof. It was 181 that I realized that there was a couple doubles in there that I didn't mean to put on there. But yeah, that does not include October or November. Okay. That is just all the albums that are released so far. So it's probably going to be well over 200 by the time I'm done with it. And then I also decided to start working on my top 100 of 2023 as well, narrowing things down a lot. This year will be much easier than last year, which is just an anomaly of great music. Yes. Like, there shouldn't have been so much good music that came out last year.
It's true.
That's no inclination of how 2023's been, as there's been some fantastic albums that have come out. Yeah. But it took me like 4 passes to get to 100. Mm-hmm. And again, no October, no November yet. Yeah. And there's even one that's going to be coming out the week that I start the top 100, so I hope I get it ahead of time, the new Panopticon album, which I just found out about yesterday. So I hope I can get that ahead of time and put that in there, but that's probably guaranteed to be in my top 100. Yes. Unless they like started doing like disco or something like that. But anyways, at the topic at hand, of course, the way I do this, when it comes to the top 10 of every month, I do it alphabetically, not to give anything away of where it could land on my overall top 100 list, unless I mention otherwise. The first one is Baroness, with their first album not named after a color, but actually an element of stone. I feel like this is a culmination of like almost every single Baroness album released so far. It's got the more mainstream songs, it's got the heavier songs, it's got the more subdued songs, it's got the emotional songs. It's got a little bit of everything, so no matter what era of Baroness you like, you'll find something to enjoy. Yeah. Do you remember me playing this at all?
No.
No?
I'll be honest, I don't.
Yeah. That's sad, because you liked Purple.
Yeah, I remember liking some older Baroness, but
Yeah.
I don't remember this album though.
Okay. Well, you definitely know the next one.
Yes, I do.
It is the band that you introduced me to.
Yes.
And you did a little cameo. Do you know what a cameo is,
Guest
Len?
spot on a TV show?
Close. It's a guest spot in a Heavy Debriefings interview
Oh.
that you did with Blackbriar and their new album, A Dark Euphony. And yeah, this is the sophomore album from the band, easily the band's best album to date. It's the catchiest, it's also the heaviest, it's the best produced, and their music videos are just absolutely visually stunning.
Yes.
And I'm not just talking about Zora, who more than one person in my life, online and in person, has said how beautiful of a woman Zora
She is
is.
gorgeous.
And she's got a gorgeous voice.
Yes.
But yeah, this is one of the best albums of the year. How about you?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I like you alluded to. I've been a long time Blackbriar fan. They're that symphonic, like perfect mix of like symphonic and kind of almost an ethereal kind of feeling to it. You know, it's like a fairy singing metal.
And a lot of gothic overtones
Yes,
as well.
absolutely.
Next up, I have the band Deadly Carnage with their album Endless Blue. And when you hear a name like Deadly Carnage, you immediately think, oh, this is like some brutal death metal or some hardcore or something like that. No, it's not. They originally started off as a black metal band, and now they are pretty much all black gaze with all clean vocals. So kind of imagine something like Latter Day Lantlos or Alcest, where you get like the black metal sound musically, and it's got the black metal skank blast beats, but it's all really gorgeous clean vocals over top of it. So some diehards would absolutely hate this, but for me, like you were talking about ethereal, this is my kind of ethereal, like the black gaze sound I love so much. I don't think you've heard this, but I also know that black gaze isn't really your bag, baby.
No, it's not.
And also not your bag, baby, is the tech death metal band Dying Fetus with Make Them Beg for Death, which I feel is one of the best death metal albums of the year. And if you know me quite well, you know that death metal doesn't usually rank too high for me when it comes to like my top 100. Just a lot more genres hit me more than death metal.
Yeah.
Maybe it's past things having to do with past bands I was in. Regardless, I thoroughly enjoy this album. I loved talking to John Gallagher, who showed me his kitty in the middle of our interview. Very, very cute cat that he has.
Very.
And yeah, it hits at home. I really love the lyrics that they do. I don't think it's overly technical like other albums were. There's a lot more groove to it where they let the riffs actually be riffs, unlike previous albums where you hear them for a couple seconds and then they switch to something else. So it just hits me a little harder. And yeah, I know it's not for you.
No.
One that is for you, though, is the brand new album from Eclipse.
Yes.
And the album Megalomanium, which is not Megalomania, the Incubus song.
Megalomart.
Yeah. The Megalomart, you're shopping for the rest of your life. Sorry, I have to do that every time. But Eclipse, probably the best Swedish hard rock band out there.
Yeah.
They can get heavy when they want to, but they're really that AOR, rock and roll, heavy metal kind of stuff. This album is like a variety pack in a sense, because you got some heavier songs on here. You got their ballads. You got some songs that sounds like pop punk. Like I could hear like My Chemical Romance in one particular song, which really threw me off. But the way Eclipse does it, it works so well.
Yeah.
They're a band that's just not afraid to play what they want to play.
Yeah.
And they don't have to be the heaviest band in Sweden. Other bands already do that. They just have to be a damn good band, and that's what Eclipse does.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I love Eclipse. I love their last couple albums, and yeah, they're so catchy. They're so freaking catchy. And like he's an amazing guitarist too, and it's so good.
And of course he is the songwriter of one of your favorite projects.
Oh, yes. Well, he's in Nordic Union as well.
With Mr. Ronnie Adkins, who
Yes.
is one of... I can't wait to check out that album.
His solo.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
coming out this month.
Yes.
Trinity.
Yes.
Like, the fact that he's dealt with stage 4 cancer twice, and he's still going,
Yes.
and still making albums. He's still making plans for next year's for shows and albums and stuff.
Yup.
It's something to aspire to.
Absolutely.
Most people would just like give up, like, all right, it's over.
Right.
Not Ronnie.
No.
Ronnie doesn't do that. And the fact that Eclipse is such an integral part to Nordic Union, yeah, just fantastic stuff.
Absolutely.
Next up, another album that you will despise. The band Gridlink with Coronet Juniper. This is about 18 minutes long, but it is a full-length album for a grindcore band. But it's more than grindcore. It's progressive grindcore.
Oh.
Yes, there is a distinct difference, you jerk.
Well, hold on now. Maybe I will like it.
That hat that you have on your head, hold on to it. In fact, hold on to the multiple hats on your head right now, because I need to explain this. Yes, it's got the pure, unadulterated chaos of grindcore, but it makes sense. You understand what's going on with it. Unlike a lot of grindcore where it literally sounds like noise, in Gridlink, you understand every riff that's going on, even though it's at chaotic speeds and turns on the turn of a dime. And it's so short at 18 minutes. And they also have a release where they call it the karaoke version, which takes out all the vocals on it. So if you don't like the vocals, you can have the instrumental version. If you do like the vocals, you get the original version. And of course, that all clocks in at 36 minutes altogether. But that said, kind of like what I mentioned last month with Ringworm, I need some anger bands because there's some anger inside me that I've never really got to explore. And rather than doing something I would regret, I need to hear it in my music instead.
Yeah.
And Gridlink is one of those bands that just like takes all the chaos out, nice, short, and sweet. I know I haven't won you over, but hey, I tried. Next up is one that I'm not sure if you remember, Grimheart.
I remember the name, but I don't remember
Yes,
what they sound like.
with their debut album Hellish Hunt, this is a Bulgarian melodic death metal band with a lot of symphonic elements to it. In the written review that I did, I said that if you're a fan of Children of Bodom, Insafirum, and Winter Sun, this is a band that you need to check out. They are so catchy, so heavy. It's just so inspired as well, too. Like, they don't rip off any of those bands, but they are for bands of that style.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you need to check them out.
Yeah.
One that I turned you on to, and haha, you like a Doom album. It's the band Lord of Shadows with their debut album Echoes of Yore. Now, this album is like a tragic love story going on, where you have the male vocals done by Aaron Stainthorpe of My Dying Bride, and has been a part of every single Doom album in 2023, apparently. He's done guest vocals on at least one song with every Doom band. And you have the previous singer, Heinke, of Draconian. She was not the original one like I thought it was. It was the one that took place of the original one. The original one is back now.
Yeah.
But hearing those two sing together in this like gothic, tragic tale mixed in with the gothic doom metal that goes on with it, it's impeccable and easily one of the best Doom albums of the year.
Yeah. I don't like much Doom, but there's very specific goth Doom that I like, and Draconian is the biggest. And so this kind of falls right in line with that for me.
Yeah, and I still gotta get you on the My Dying Bride train. I mean, if you did you like Aaron Stainthorpe's vocals?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so you should like My Dying Bride.
Yeah.
And I'll get you in there one time, even though it's gonna make you cry.
Yes.
Just like the first time you ever heard Swallow the Sun, you cried.
Yeah.
My Dying Bride would probably do that as well if you couldn't tell by the name. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This next one is easily gonna be in my top 10 albums of the year, if not higher. I need to see where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But this is an album that just hit me right in the feels the first time I heard it.
Yeah.
There's so many songs I can relate to because they really tackle mental health on this album and the state of the world, two things I care about. So
Yeah.
it's like a perfect combination. Even though it's not a comeback album, it's a comeback album. It's the brand new album from Mercenary with soundtrack for the end times. Now, I got this album and I got it as a promo. I got the MP3 version. I got the WAV file version. I got all the lyrics. I got the bio. I got the album cover. I got sales charts for the band. Like, I got every conceivable thing from the band. Even things that I have nothing to do with or would ever talk about in an interview. I got promo stuff for it, so I really got to dive headfirst into this, and every time I listen to this album, I love it more and more. It has become my favorite Mercenary album, and top 10 of the year.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, and I know we talked about this album last week, I think it was too. Like, I absolutely love it. It hasn't squeaked into my top Mercenary album spot at this this point yet, but it's still very high up there for this year, I would say.
And I know it's so weird with Mercenary because some people like this lineup, some people like that lineup, some people like another lineup. I just like when they do good music, and they've done that their entire career.
Yeah, there's some divisive fans with Mercenary, but I think they're just being picky.
Yeah, and so much so that I can say that even with other albums, meaning so much to me, this is my favorite Mercenary album.
Yeah.
And finally, I have the lightest album, although really lyrically one of the heaviest albums of 2023, the third album from Silent Skies, which is Tom England of Evergrey and Redemption, and Vikram Shankar of almost every single band on the planet.
Yes.
Whether he's doing mixing, mastering, production, orchestral, symphonic, guest work of any kind.
Yeah.
Vikram is doing it right now. This is my favorite Silent Skies album. With previous albums, it was pretty much more focused on just like more pop or dark pop sensed piano songs.
Yeah.
And this album has a lot more to it. Like there's a lot more synth pop, like 80s synth sounds. There's a lot more percussion that goes on with this one. I think Vikram's even playing the drums on this one, if I understand correctly. Is that the man can play everything.
Yeah.
And he's a master at all of it. I can't gush about him enough. He's just amazing in every way. But hearing his work with Tom England doing like this dark pop album, two metalheads doing a dark pop album makes it's so weird on paper, but I love it. You've heard me play some of it. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, Silent Skies, they put out some beautiful music. This one being a little bit more upbeat, I would say, or more not as slow moving, I guess.
Yeah, not as one note.
Yeah. Trying to think of the right way to put it. But yeah, I like it. They haven't squeaked into my top 10 previous years, but one was close one year.
Yeah, number 11.
I know, and he will never let me live that down.
I never will.
But no, they're really good. It's just sometimes they don't quite hit the tops for me when there's so much good music.
How about the covers?
I guess I haven't really taken much time with the covers. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for those that don't know, they do Iron Maiden's The Trooper. They do Linkin Park's Numb.
Oh, I thought you meant the cover of their albums.
No. No. All right. So again, Iron Maiden, The Trooper, Linkin Park, Numb.
Yeah.
And the strangest one, Bruce Springsteen's Dancing in the Dark.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like any of the original bands, so I definitely prefer Tom England doing them. Never expected him to hear his voice do them, but, well, except for Iron Maiden, I can see that, but like, yeah, definitely a huge improvement over the originals.
Well, we saw Evergrey cover Iron Maiden acoustically.
We did.
In one of the best parts when they, at Prog Power USA, they did an acoustic set. And they said that they were going to finish off the set with the most upbeat song, the most positive song that they had.
To end the show on a lighter note because their music is so depressing, of course.
Yes. And that, of course, was Wasted Years by Iron Maiden.
Yes. So everybody cheered up.
Yes. And that was actually when we got our picture taken by one of the Prog Power photographers, and that was my profile picture for the longest time.
Yes.
Before my hair started getting even longer.
Yes. And then we met Tom afterwards. I got a picture with him.
And you almost ran him over.
Oh, yes. I almost hit him with a car coming out of the underground parking at what's the venue?
Center Stage
in Atlanta.
To be fair, it is a horrible parking spot to get out of.
Terrible. And he was such a sport. He like pretended like I hit him and stuff. He was just a goofball like he always is.
But yes, those are my top 10 for September. I know there's a lot of stuff I left out. Particularly a couple albums I want to mention. Steven Wilson with the new album Harmony, the Harmony Codex. I checked this out yesterday and I still don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah.
Because part of it hits on like the early day solo work that he did, which is like that dark progressive rock, progressive metal side. And then the other half, and it's all mixed together. So it's not like it's an album with two halves. It's all mixed together.
Yeah.
And the other half is like that indie electronica pop sound that he's been doing on the last couple albums. And that just doesn't jive with me. It feels so awkward because like some songs it's like, oh yeah, he's getting back into, he did, like it really and the middle track is the title track and it's 10 minutes of ambient sound. So again, I don't know how to feel about it. Like there's songs I like off of it, but I don't think I like the album, which is a very rare occurrence of anything Steven Wilson since 2000s, which really blows my mind.
Yeah.
Another one I wanted to bring up is very local, in fact, just one town over, living in Lakeville, Minnesota, is the band Ashbringer. Their brand new album, We've Come Here to Mourn. In the past, they have been a very black metal, black gaze, doom metal kind of band. On this new album, I don't know how to actually describe it.
Yeah.
Like, there's elements of black metal in there.
Yeah.
Then it's also acoustic. Then it's like alternative rock. And then it almost gets poppy at times. And then it's just like a complete hodgepodge of sound.
Yeah.
Which maybe it takes a few listens for it to really click.
Yeah.
But it feels like an anti-black metal album.
Okay.
It's... I forgot the label that they're on, and, it's great to see one of the non-local metal bands that I've had to deal with actually getting on a real label and proving that you don't have to just play the one venue in town that I always had to play.
Yeah.
But, I seen... It's very avant-garde, I guess is the best way to describe it. And, I think I need more listens to it, but... There's parts I thoroughly enjoy. The rest of it just needs to click with me a little bit more. And there's a lot of stuff that's also going to be going on here with us as well to wrap things up here. In fact, this week I currently have 5 interviews lined up in 4 days. So I'm barely going to have a voice. I'm going to have 1 day off before we record the next podcast. And what is going to be on next week's show? What do we got for Halloween?
So we will be continuing our trend of having some kind of Halloween special every week. I don't remember what's up for next week specifically, but it'll be something fun.
All right. Well, did you enjoy our little bracket fights of the villains?
I did. I thought it was fun. I mean, I do believe that Candyman should have won, but, rock, paper, scissors, it settles all, I guess.
It does settle all. But I hope you enjoyed the show. This is easily our longest show that we've done to date, so I hope you've stuck around. I've listened to podcasts that are much longer than this, like 3-4 hours, so this one's actually short in comparison. But I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, share, subscribe, wherever you're checking this out, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all the places. Please share it. So very, very close to hitting 1,000 subscribers. I am currently at 979 subscribers right now. Wow. So, only 21 away.
Exactly. And as we go through October, obviously we're covering Halloween, but when we think about the end of the year, are there any end of the year lists you'd like to see from us outside of music?
Yeah, like anything music related, festival time,
video game, TV movies, stuff like that. Yeah, anything.
Like, if you got any ideas, let us know. It's not that we're out of ideas. We just want to do some stuff that we may not be thinking of.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to do some more bracket fights, as this was one of the most fun times that I've had doing the show with you so far. So, again, follow all of the social media sites, all under Heavy Debriefings. Of course, that is Facebook, no longer Twitter, no longer X, Instagram, Threads, that was the one I was thinking of, YouTube. I also got an invitation for Sky Blue, which is the original creators of Twitter.
Oh.
It's you have to get a special invite code to get it. It's one of those special things on there. If I get any of those codes, you'll be getting one on there as well.
Okay.
But I'm under there. I think it's Jay Runquist for that. I don't have it under Heavy Debriefings, but if you look up Josh Runquist, I also have Heavy Debriefings in parentheses, so you'll find me. But for the Metal Faerie and for the Heavy Debriefings podcast, this is Josh Runquist saying, see ya.